That medicine's not for you.
Come on, Marge. Maybe I'm not getting enough estrogen.
Give me that.
Do you fucking mind? I'm running through a crypto mine with a big-ass magnet. Yahoo! Fuck your internet funny money, you dumb... Do you fucking mind? I'm running through a crypto mine with a big-ass magnet. Yahoo! Fuck your internet funny money, you dumb bastard! Yeehaw! Fuck your monkeys, fuck your lions, fuck them all! And fuck you, Elon Musk! Woo-hoo!
I forgot to unmute the music, guys. I'm sorry, making you all sit here in silence.
Is everybody here? All right then. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York. Yes, sir. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray and step around the heart of it. New York, New York.
These guys aren't bad.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Broto. Hi, Volvox. Hi, Erie. Hope Jade is enjoying their sleep. There's a couple other people hanging out in the chat. So, I was up late last night. I watched that special exclusive version of Minecraft that's only available to people that sing the right sea shanties to unlock the secret version of the Minecraft movie with Jack Black and Jason Momoa. You actually had an aunt that was terrified, specifically of Gremlins 2. Oh no, sorry. That means she couldn't enjoy a wonderful movie. I watched the terrible Minecraft movie and like Gremlins in general. Okay. Practical effects do affect some people pretty hard. Like when they see something that's VFX and it's easier for them to be like, that's not a real thing that's in the room with those people. I could detach myself from this. That's easier for some people than like practical effects where like that is a thing in the room. I get that it's like an animatronic, but it also is like really in the room with them. I hate that. So like I kind of get that vibe. But yeah, the Minecraft movie sucks. Like there's some enjoyment you can get from it for it being bad. But also there's some parts of it that are just bad. Like every single time they have Jack Black do something musical in that movie, it's just not good. The songs are just bad. The writing feels like it was done by ChatGPT. The character pacing and even like a lot of the scenes that seem like they're supposed to be important feel like they are like a bunch of TikToks that were strung together in like an hour and a half. Like it really feels like they didn't know what they wanted to do, so they just made it happen as fast as possible. Like there are scenes where something important is happening to a character or an event is about to occur that is central to the plot of the movie, and it happens in like 5-second cutaway shots because I don't know how to explain it other than it feels like it's been designed by an algorithm to pull on the ADHD attention strings of a younger audience. Like they go, oh, kids these days don't give a shit about plot. They want things to constantly be changing on the screen in front of them, or else they're going to stop paying attention and be bored. So we're going to make everything happen as if it's a cutaway gag. Back to back to back to back. I think there's a scene where characters into TikTok bites. That's what it feels like. It feels like a movie that was made for TikTok shorts or TikTok like clips and YouTube shorts and to like put up on social media. Like everything is that. Everything is a cutaway 5-second gag. Like even in the shots that are the setup shots that are like, here's some characters that are talking and there's events that are happening that are going to establish motivations and character backgrounds, have to be constantly interrupted by quick cutaway gags and ridiculous things. Like a character is talking to Jason Momoa's character and he brought in some food because he was supposed to bring it to school, and Jason Momoa mid-conversation just reaches down and shoves his fingers into it and is like, oh, that's what that is, and then goes back to talking. Like, they had to I felt myself having I felt like I needed to get medication for my ADHD while watching that movie. It's not good, but it's still gonna make a shit ton of money because it's Minecraft and because it feels like it was made by a committee with the intent to just overstimulate ADHD, like what is it, what's the generation now that's younger than Zoomers, whatever that generation is. It felt like it was made to take those kids and overstimulate them, and that's what came out for that algorithm. Like, Jack Black isn't doing anything other than just being the most watered down version of Jack Black, where they're not even letting him do anything that, like, I would say makes use really of his skills, because everything that he does is just like, I'm Jack Black and I'm gonna yell and I'm gonna say words that are like hyphenated words that maybe some kids will start saying, and then I could say, you said that because I said it. Like, Rex. Sorry, I'm just giving my review on the Minecraft movie. It's not good. But if you want to, I would not recommend anyone spend money on that movie. But if you have other ways to watch it, it's worth seeing. Like, I'm glad I saw it so I could know. Like, I'm not gonna see Borderlands 2. That movie's trash. It's a terrible movie. I don't need to watch it to know. Like, everything that I've seen of it, everything that I've heard about the production of that movie has just been nightmarish. I don't need to watch it to figure out that it's bad. This one, I'm kind of glad that I got to see it so I could articulate why it's bad and what I think is wrong with it. And I think it goes beyond, this movie wasn't made for me. This, like as in talking to a different generation. This movie wasn't made for me because I don't want to feel like I'm having a severe $153 million. Oh, damn. I don't want to see this movie and feel like I need to renew my ADHD medication prescription. And that's what I was feeling like by the end of that movie. It was entirely carried by its memes, and honestly, I don't even think the memes are that good. No, they're really not. Like, the best memes that I saw come out of that were Old Man Yowie featuring Jack Black and Jason Momoa, because holy crap, is there a lot of implied, like, we're gonna fuck in that movie. Even if it's not like they're really into it, but it's like the commentary and the dialogue and the situations that they're in is like, well, we have to imply this because this is what the internet is going to make jokes about. So we have to fuel the Jason Momoa and Jack Black are gay jokes with our own stuff. So it's not even fun to make those jokes because it's so in your face. And the only other meme that I like the only other line that really happens in that I thought was like really funny was when the little kid character is like mad at his sister and like walks away from her. Also, by the way, the scene that causes him to be mad at his sister is happening while he's just out of camera frame. Like, in front of her, she should be able to see him, because when they do the cut away from her, because the scene is she's there and she's talking to Jack Black about how they need to get home, and Jack's like, but he's so creative, you should let him be here. It's like, no, we have to go back to the real world, and the real world doesn't like creative people. The real world puts you in a little box so that you'll be part of what the world needs you to be. And then they cut back to Jack, and the kid is literally like 5 degrees to the right behind Jack. Like, while she was saying it, there is literally no way she could not have seen that he was there, but they frame it in that way. And he's like, well, maybe I don't belong in the real world. And he like walks away. And as he leaves, Jason Momoa's like shitty, like douche bro characters, like, I'm more of a sister to him than you'll ever be. And like walks away after him. And I'm like, okay, that was actually kind of funny. But other than that, I think the only times I laughed during the movie was about how bad it was. And I watched it with the weird, like, unfinished CG, which made it better. I think if I had watched it deadpan serious with all the animation, I would have been more bored. They also introduced antagonist characters that are literally in the shot for like 3 scenes, and then they die. And then they introduce another villain, like, that's like got less personality than the first villain, that's also in there for 2 scenes, one of which is them killing the first villain, and then they die. And then the villain's like, you thought you could kill my second villain? Well, don't worry, I have a backup 3rd villain that's exactly the same as the second villain. And then that one also ends up dying. And then there's an entire fight scene between Jack Black and the main villain, whose whole reason for being evil is that she wanted to dance, and other villains made fun of her, so she turned super evil. That's her whole story. And her and Jack Black have a fight scene, which doesn't matter at all, because in the background, the child actor solves the entire problem in a series of 5-second cutaway shots. And they also do stuff that doesn't make sense within the rules of Minecraft. I was watching the movie with like 4 other people that all played Minecraft. They're like, that item doesn't exist. That is not how, that item doesn't do that. You can't make this thing that way. And they were like, yeah, but it's Minecraft. And it's like, yeah, but then the people that know Minecraft are going to be like, that's not how Minecraft works. So like, either commit to it being like the Super Mario Brothers, where it's just the Minecraft is a background like gimmick, and you do whatever the fuck you want, or make it like Minecraft. And they didn't really do either. They picked like that's why I said part of it felt like it was written by ChatGPT, because it felt like somebody that quickly Googled items that are in Minecraft, but then didn't read any of the descriptions, and then just made up items that aren't in Minecraft to work for where the plot needed it to be. It's a bad movie. Don't pay money to watch it. If you want to watch it, find a version that you didn't have to pay money for. Anyways, I was gonna watch the Taliesin and Evital podcast episode that I missed. So I'm gonna pull that up right now here. I was about 10 minutes in, I think. We're talking about changes to
world we live in right now.
The housing
You can
stuff.
make Final Fantasy 14
Yes.
Interior customization.
How's everybody
as
doing?
good
I hope you're all
as
having
the
a good
advanced mode that we just
week
saw
so
in WoW
far,
by
all things
using
considered.
mods,
I know a
which
lot
are
of us
legal. We don't
are
condone that. We don't
having
condone,
issues.
Using
Never.
mods in Final Fantasy 14.
Did I see the Naked Gun trailer? I did not, but I did hear they made a reference to O.J. Simpson in a very funny way, which makes me kind of want to see the movie just for that. And also that Liam Neeson actually, we can hear the video but not see it. Oh, well, it's just a podcast video. I can put I can switch to them talking, but it's really like, I'll show you what it looks like. This is the video. Them standing here like this. Every once in a while, they'll pull up a screenshot. But if I put it up so that you guys can see it as a thumbnail, you're not going to be able to read any of this anyways. So like, this is basically, I'll link to it if you guys want to see what they're talking about. But yeah, it's literally like this kind of stuff. And if I shrink it down, you're not going to be able to make out 90% of what they got going on. I'm just going to have that up for audio, if that's okay with you guys. Tell me I suck and I shouldn't do that if that's the case.
Super exciting.
Yeah, very.
Okay. Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Stuff. But I never in a.
I'm still mad I can't get a fucking kakapo pet. I'm so mad. This is my favorite bird. I can't have one as a pet, I don't think. Let me check. Let me double check. Ring bottler. Wow. Can I get one of these as a pet? Because if I can, I'm gonna try to get one. The Poro pet. Poro. What? Filter. Not collected. Pet families. Check all. You. Where do I get you? Island Expeditions. Why? Why expeditions? Oh. Do I have to start doing island expeditions for shit? Because there's so many cute little things in here. God. Salvage crates just are new to patch, basically a formula at the end of spend seafarers doubloons for a chance. The island expedition will get seafarers doubloons. Those are just, I guess, from doing in the island expeditions. Damn. Okay. I could get one, but it's an RNG drop from an island expedition loot chest.
Even just the non-advanced mode, where you can just move things around and move them around at 15-degree angles and place them. But then the advanced mode.
Oh, right. Sorry. So for clarification, right now, Taliesin and Evitel are talking about seeing the tools for how to get your player housing furniture set up. Apparently, this is the first time they've talked about it since Evitel got back from, I think, doing some stuff in London. And they're talking about how they have the gimbal tools, which if you've ever experienced anything in a 3D modeling software, you'll understand what a gimbal is. But those of you that haven't, it's giving you the XYZ axis for moving things, rotating things, and scaling things. And they have that tool just in there, which is a very common tool used in 3D modeling, and also just in most game engines. So it feels like they're just kind of giving us like a watered down restricted version of a set of dev tools to move, resize, scale, rotate our furniture. And you could do that apparently in Final Fantasy 14. Still not my favorite MMO, but still a very good MMO. I have nothing to say about it except for certain parts of the story are not for me. You could do that there, but you have to use mods, which are apparently very frowned upon by the dev team. So yeah, it's very exciting to just have that in there by default. They have a new scene in the trailer where they all have the original characters' portraits up on the wall, and the new guys are the children of the old guys. They're all crying to their dead fathers, and the black guy looks at OJ and then to the camera and just shakes his head.
Where you can clip things to the floor and the ceiling and
I don't
move
trust
them
them
and
with
shrink them.
advanced mode.
so
The thing is,
Liam Neeson's character is the son of the guy from the original Naked Gun? Is that the implication? Huh.
Here, or you can put a bed here, or you can put, or you know, and like there would be places where you could put things.
Turn the game audio down a little bit here so we can hear
and you'd have a choice of what you could
the video
put there,
better.
obviously a choice of what those things look like and stuff. But I never in a billion years would have imagined even just the non-advanced.
The next generation. That's not what I thought. It was a remake.
15-degree angles and place them, but then the advanced.
I mean, I guess this makes more sense, honestly.
The floor and the ceiling and
I don't trust myself with advanced mode. The thing is, I need some parameters. You know what I mean? I need some. Like,
I've never met your parameters.
Yeah.
I've never seen your parameters yet. I'm yet to encounter these mythical parameters that we speak of.
This is
what
why.
are these parameters? I don't believe it. I believe it when I see
huge, huge.
Allison is very excited that his wife is home. He is so hyperactive right now.
Kind of like freestyle
It's
building
very
games
cute.
because
Adorable.
if I have no parameters, then I don't know where to begin. You know what I mean? I don't know where to start with.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, World of Warcraft player housing will have parameters. You will have a house. It will have a certain size. It can be TARDIS-like, right? But
so you wouldn't want to build your own house like walls and all from scratch.
yeah, because then I'm like, I don't trust
right,
myself
so-
with that kind of power, you know, and that kind of freedom. It's not where I thrive.
I'm going to the delve that gave me. I think this is the. Wait, no, this is another one that I could do. Do I have any more coffer keys? I don't. There's no more shards that I can farm before I go in there. Let's see. No. This is like the first time I've been short coffer keys. They want me to go buy some from somewhere? Damn. I guess I'll have to go do... Well, if I do a world soul...
Three typical average kids love to read their comic strips. But their wish and they became big bad Beetleborgs. Big bad
Hi, Sinful. Big bad Beetleborgs.
Hey, bro!
One of the player base's major gripes about housing in 14, having not being able to get a house, is the limited things you can do with the furniture systems. Yeah, it has seemingly forced people to be very creative, but it is also sounds like very restricted. I have 4 radiant echoes. To get the one that lets me get bonus, I need another radiant echo. Is there a way to get radiant echo? Let's see. Breakdown of radiant echoes is best done in a group of 8. Drop from delve, Strunlock has to world soul echo. That had to be a bountiful delve? Because in my bag it was it said bountiful specifically, right? Bountiful delve. Does it mean a bountiful coffer? Yeah, so you gotta spend coffer keys. Outdoor events throughout Kazalgar. Alright, so coffer key. Coffer key shard. Coffer key shard. Work with me here, Wowhead. Reward from side gig. Guide. I'm just hanging out on this blimp that's floating around while I'm doing this. Wait, can I get down inside the blimp? Do. Whee! My blimp on a blimp. I heard you like blimps. You can clip stuff together as much as you like, but you can only rotate around the Y-axis. You can't scale things, and you can't move them upwards unless you do glitches of use mods. Also, dying is very limited. Oh, you mean dying like using dyes? I was like you can die inside your house? Like you can become deceased? Oh wait, no, not this. Here. Or no, it was coffer keys. Coffer. Tier 11 Bountiful Delves will now reward Gilded Crests up to 3 times a week from Gilded Stash. Okay, that's cool. I want the key. Bountiful Coffers, Restored Coffer Key. Your first 4 weekly caches from world events will grant Restored Coffer Key. Includes advanced blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Like to combine, yada, yada, yada. We bought Season 2 for 2,000 Undercoin by regressing the Delve track. Alright, it sounds like I'm just kind of at the cap. Sounds like I'm just kind of have to do them without the bountiful key. Alright.
So yeah, that happened. That's super exciting.
Because I was doing extra ones this week with friends, so I should have saved those keys. I didn't realize they were going to be this
Final Fantasy
scarce.
14 housing. Because a lot of people saying it is a lot like kind of you can make well, this is a sentence, isn't it? This is a rule with the world we live in right now. You can make Final Fantasy 14 interior customization almost as good as the advanced mode that we just saw in WoW by using mods, which are illegal. We don't condone
which are illegal.
We condone using mods in Final Fantasy 14. It'll make Yoshi sad. It'll make Masayoshi sad. Just don't do it. Okay, not even for. But if you were to do that, you can get it to be quite a lot like the advanced mode.
Cool.
In have you had any experience with that at all?
Not with building it. I am just a Final Fantasy 14 player housing enjoyer, not a builder. So like literally,
a voyeur.
yeah, like literally just chilling in my free company house, which is incredible, and everyone's rooms are like insane. And you know, it's a club,
I've seen
right?
some
There's, like,
really
spa,
cool
there's
housing
everything
in
it. So
14, so I'm excited to see what I can do with a house here.
Yeah.
I do have experience with the 3D modeling software.
So you haven't had any like
actually building it.
Seeing the gimbal got me very excited.
Well, you can make like amazing things because I got my apartment in my free company house, and I went down a bit of a rabbit hole a few years ago of watching all of these very in-depth videos about how to make certain kind of like dojos and stuff like that, and cool, like really chill zen Japanese kind of interiors, right? And loads of them involved, you know, flipping a certain type of table over to use as paneling,
of course,
and like clipping it through the wall, and then like you put like a,
that's what you were talking about, right, Erie?
Partition wall up,
flipping tables to make them look like wall panels,
and you flip them up on their side, and you gradually clip them through the partition wall to create, you know, like paneling and stuff, and like just stuff like that, like and so it does mean that the possibilities completely endless, and if WoWs will be like that as well. Extremely exciting. It's something that people are gonna sink hours and hours and hours and pounds and dollary dues on, because oh man, I mean, have you noticed how we've had something new on the cash shop every single kind of couple of weeks?
That's true. Did they add anything new to the cash shop? 12-month subscription offer. I already have this. So this is nothing new for me. This one, which is half of half of the stuff doesn't go even into this game. You get the Shaw Warped Cloud Serpent Flying Mount for WoW, Shaw Warped Tiger, Shaw Warped Tea Set, Merriment Pet for WoW Characters Ensemble, Storm Stouts, Shaw Warped Collection, but only for Mists of Pandaria Classic. I hate that. I got one that had a cool toy that I could only use in Cataclysm Classic. Like, that's the other thing. They're giving us rewards for a mode that's not even going to be relevant in like a year because they're going on to the next thing, right? Like, I want my town in a box in retail. Madge. Oh yeah, this came out recently too. This came out recently too. There's no bundles. That's just one of the default mounts. That's one of the pets from the bundles. That's the transmog we were just looking at. And no new toys for a while, but they've been pumping out the limited time FOMO stuff, like that Brutosaur mount that had the auctioneer. That's gone now.
It's non-stop, isn't it?
It's like relentless.
It
Honestly.
is. I actually saw. I was wandering around and I saw someone in Dornagle with a really cool transmog, and I was like, "That looks great." And I checked in it, and it was a shop transmog that had just kind of, flown me by, passed me by, and I was like, "Oh, wow."
You are usually
there's a
right
lot.
on that shop transmog as well.
I
Are
usually
we
am,
getting
'cause it's
desensitized to
really
it?
good.
Is it too much? Can we not keep up? Are the whales actually being cast adrift? You know, like they don't actually catch all the different things that are coming out.
I don't think they have that problem.
No,
but
probably not,
but
no.
yeah, I was like, oh, I missed that one, but
Yeah.
it's actually really good. Hold on.
I read something that they think the Brutosaur mount made something like $90 million.
No.
That's insane. Sorry, I paused the podcast here. That's insane. 1990, I don't know if that's true. I would love to get a source check on that. I'm not saying Taliesin is lying, but I feel like he's excited and maybe taking things at face value that maybe he shouldn't. But if true, $90 million off of a single mount is detrimental to the health of an MMO that is not free to play. That is as someone that works in game dev and has worked on games in the mobile game market, hearing that scares the shit out of me for this game. Oh, I hope it's not real. Brutosaur mount, $90 million. I'm not seeing a source on. Oh, wait. Icy Veins. Nearly 1 in 5 WoW accounts bought the $90 Brutosaur mount, earning Blizzard $19 million.
Smell that? It's treasure. I know it. We're close.
Jesus. All right. Yeah, that's apparently a real thing. Anybody wants to read the details?
Oh,
There's
know.
like there is like something like 20-30% of all active World of Warcraft
1 in
accounts
5
have the Brutosaur,
I do not believe that.
which is
20%.
Like,
I don't buy
that's
that.
what I read, man.
But also, it might not be that much because, as Taliesin likes to point out, and other people have mentioned as well, if you want to, you can convert in-game gold into dollars in the shop. You buy the WoW token for gold here, and you convert it into cash. So, by this metric, you could have bought 4 of these for about a quarter. So if you had 1 million gold, you could have bought the Brutosaur for 1 million gold by converting the tokens into cash shop cash. Oh, wait, a little bit more, it would be more than 1 million because this is Canadian dollars. Canadian dollars. But still, like, you have like, 1 point whatever million gold, you could get $100 of
I can't,
cash shop
I believe
currency.
it. Do you have Brutosaur?
I don't.
You don't?
No. I was like, I'm not paying that shit. Like,
What? You don't have the Brutosaur?
no. To be honest, I regret it because it was like literally.
It's not. You can get it. It's fine. All you need is like a month's salary.
Well, yeah.
It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, but no, like, because for whatever reason, maybe it's because it was in the air. Like, literally a couple days later, I was like, I'm gonna get into crafting, and then of course.
We'll try to keep Bran alive here for a second.
What did you craft? This is such a great catch up. I'm learning so much.
I crafted my glyph etched van braces and boots, and
Try to keep Bran alive a little bit more here.
Really
Come on, Bran.
Running back and forth to the auction house, and you know, not really feeling. I see. I understand.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, definitely. Because like the kind of the crafting lady isn't too far from the.
No, she's pretty close.
House, but she's far enough, you know. Even the mailboxes. Far enough away from her that you're like, wait, I got to step over here? No way. Noga correctly pointing out that, you know, there are two Brutosaurs. And when
back up here, Bran. Get back up here.
Someone's going to find me the exact numbers. Sorry, I'm a professional WoW YouTuber. I should know. But when I say the Brutosaur, I don't mean the Brutosaur that you had to, like, save up.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, is that there was already a Brutosaur in the game that had vendors on it that you could earn in the Battle for Azeroth expansion. Mounts. Root. Hey, where is it? 4? What is he called? It cost 3 million? Yeah, so the one from the cash shop was limited, but isn't the Reigns of the Mighty Brutosaur? Is that not in here anymore? It was 5 million gold without rep. That one's no longer available? You can only get it off the black market auction house. Oh. Well, you know what? I'm glad I have my little bear. I don't need anybody else if I have my little bear. He does everything I need him to do. If I need a mailbox, I have 2 items that can spawn me a mailbox. If I need an auctioneer, I'll drag my ass to the auction house. I'll get Jeeves. I'll use Jeeves if I need access to the auctioneer. And I'll get the upgrade on him. That's what I'll do. But also, hi, Rafe.
To buy yourself the one that I saved up painfully.
Rafe, I was doing delves with Brew and one of the new guild members yesterday. And I ran out of bountiful keys. So I have to do bountiful delves without my keys now. I feel so naked.
Over an entire expansion, earning the gold to do it. At one point, standing in Stormwind Square, like shouting at anyone who would pass by, asking if they wanted to buy a bag made by famous YouTuber Mavanwi from Argent Dawn EU, and literally just essentially begging on the street, busking, which is what I feel being a streamer is exactly like as well.
Yeah. Can I tell you why I didn't? Another reason why I didn't get the shop Brutosaur, apart from the fact that it was a lot of money. I just don't like the way it looks. You don't. I think the armor is too much, and I think the little big giant sashes like hanging from his, what do you call it?
The only time having an auction house on a mount would be useful for me is when, and I admit this happens a few times, I do a delve and I forgot to vendor. Yeah, that's I don't need an auction house for that. I just need anything to sell things to.
I think that's the official description. I think that's what it says, actually. Let me pull it up. Yeah, bits. There we go. That's what it says. From his big dino bit. It actually says from his big veiny dino bits on the description.
It's the bit.
From his mouth? What? Hang on. What's going on? I thought we weren't announcing the OnlyFans till later.
Yeah, I don't like the armor, and I don't like the color. I think the straight up, just green, classic.
Yeah.
Brutosaur is the only way
Allison
to go.
is
If they
so
release one like
hyper that
like
his
an
wife is
armorless
home.
Brutosaur,
He
just
is
me
like a
riding
golden
giant
retriever
Smooth like
who
a seal.
hasn't seen
Yeah, just
his owner
absolutely
barely
raw
for
dogging
like
it.
all
Like
day.
bareback
He is
dinosaur.
so wired.
I'll do it.
It's so
I'll
cute.
do it. Okay.
This game is getting X-rated.
Just
I
saying.
listen. Sometimes I'll be standing around, and people will be on their shop Brutosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll be in raid or something, and someone will go, "Yo, I need a Brutosaur," and so people get on their shop Brutosaurs. And if that's the case, if there are shop Brutosaurs about, then I will often mount on my non-shop Brutosaur, on my
Ooh,
I'm an
just
amazing
just
gamer.
a little flex.
Yeah, exactly, as a little flex.
Interesting.
So
But
when
I'll tell
Janice
you
emerges
this,
from her
if
work
I actually
pit.
need to use a
Aw.
Brutosaur, I sure as fuck don't use that one.
No,
I
of
use the
course
shop
not.
one because
No,
it's
of
so much
course.
better.
Well,
It's got the mailbox on
yeah,
it.
I know.
You know, it's just not. It's like
Has what you need.
objectively not as functional and not as good. So it's good for a little flex, but it's not as good. It's
Big
not
flex.
as. Yeah,
I'd say
it's
it's a pretty
like,
big flex.
it's like I've got a classic car, but then if I actually wanted to race, I'd need like an actual fast car. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Wow.
like-
Yeah.
what an amazing
Separated.
analogy.
I
Yeah,
was
gotta
gonna
keep
say,
them
I was holding back
separated.
praise.
We are so back. That's right.
Should we get to some of
Spitting
this news?
truths,
Oh,
spitting
What
analogies.
else have we done? We haven't even talked to the people since we got back from the 20th anniversary event.
Yeah, I've forgotten everyone we met. Sorry, but
Yeah.
I think I had a good time.
It was amazing. We were in London for the anniversary event, which is incredible. Then we were in London again just last weekend for the Distant Worlds Final Fantasy concert, which was also.
Oh my god, can I tell the story about the Distant Worlds?
Yes, please.
Okay,
please.
so it
I'll
was
tell
really
the
funny
story.
because we were like so when we went to the 30th anniversary.
I love that every once in a while you get one of Brand's like Wrath of the Lich King era voice lines when you click on them. Like,
The answer's here. I can feel it. You'll find me wherever the action.
his voice actors sound so different than when he's doing like something that's a new voice line. It's so different. They should have recorded new ones.
Everything for WoW. It was like, yeah, you go to something like that, and you would expect to kind of get recognized by people to a certain degree, right? Other creators are going to be there and they're going to know you. There are going to be people who watch your videos there and they might want to say hello and stuff. And that's brilliant. And I love it. And it's amazing. Shout out to everyone who said hello to us at the 13th anniversary.
Thanks,
New
guys.
faces
You're awesome.
and old. It was amazing to see like loads and loads of familiar faces. And by the end of the night, I was seeing three of each one. It was amazing. Such a good time. And it was great to hang out with creators and stuff. It was nice getting a Shake Shack with Bellular at like 2 a.m. in the morning on
Heck
Leicester
yeah.
Square. That's always the sign of a good night. If you and half your guildies are getting a Shake
think it
Shack
was
with
closer to
Bellular,
3.
I
It was
I was toning it down. If you and half your guildies and Bellular are grabbing a Shake Shack on Leicester Square at 2 a.m. because you were denied entry to the casino, by the way, then that right there is a good night. That was
We don't
really
have
good. They
to talk
didn't let
about that
Bellular in. They took one look at Bellular. They're like, he is not coming to our casino. That man is a hustler if ever I saw one. So like, you have certain expectations of going into a situation like that. And you know, you go to somewhere like Distant Worlds and we get invited to everything for Final Fantasy 14. There is some amazing person in like
the
the
community
outreach
managers.
community
So cool.
like office there, who saw that we did some streams and some videos a few years ago for Final Fantasy 14, and they send us everything. I've got my Viper statue from the collector's edition just down
So
there.
good. So
I've,
beautiful.
we
Use that little notebook.
yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Like so much good stuff.
Yeah.
And they invited us to the Distant Worlds, and it was like, yeah, banger. And we were like, it's very unlikely we'll get recognized here, so it's just gonna be a really chill
Like
day. and really good.
low-key. Yeah.
And we sat down in our row, and you know, there was getting ready for the show. And I did notice that some people were kind of like turning around and looking in our direction, many more than I'd have expected, you know, and they looked like a lot happier to see us than
Like
people
smiling.
at WoW events usually
Yeah,
do, if I'm
yeah.
completely honest. And I was like, okay. So I tried to ignore that a little bit, and I couldn't help noticing that people were kind of turning around and looking at us and stuff like
I
that.
know, it's
And then yeah, exactly. And then the show started.
Munch, munch,
and,
munch.
The guy, kind of the conductor. Is that the correct term? You're the
Correct.
musician, right?
Maestro.
The maestro came up on stage, and he was like, he gave a little talk, and he was great. He was an absolute legend. And he was like, and we have very special guests here with us today. And I was like, No, because he did again seem to be kind of gesturing in our direction when he said it. He was like, "We do have some very special," and people were kind of turning around, looking at us again. And I was like, "This can't be true. No way. This is going to be quite embarrassing." And he was like, can you all give a massive round of applause to Masayoshi Soken, the composer of Final Fantasy XIV?" And I was like, "What?" And everyone was cheering and clapping, but they were still looking at us. They were still turning around looking at us, and I was like, "What's happening?" And then I realized that literally next to me, like the seat next to me was empty, but in the seat next to that, there was like a Japanese guy all dressed in red standing up waving at all the audience because he was sitting right next to me. Masayoshi Soken was sitting right next to me, and it took me that long to realize. I didn't know what was going on, and I turned around, I was like, "Ah!" And I looked at Evie, and Evie.
I think part of the reason why I love Taliesin and Evitel is Taliesin is so relatable. he's such a hyperactive nerd that is like he talking faster than he thinks and gets so excited about the things that he's passionate about that he like hyper fixates on specific aspects of the game that he loves. That is so relatable to me. And I feel like I could have been in this situation of being at an event and people kept pointing at me, being like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then it's like, "Oh, I've been sitting beside a celebrity this whole time."
It was like, "Ah!" We were already a little bit drunk.
To be fair, they were very subtle about it. Like, bless him, he was there with like his wife or partner, and like, you know, when the lights went low, they kind of like snuck in and sat down, and then before like the actual like first act ended, they kind of got up and snuck out before, you know, people would swamp them. But everyone was super polite. But yeah, it was hilarious. It was. And we were like, "Oh,
I'm in jail."
Shit, he's literally sitting right next to us.
Totally.
So it's just
How do I get
like,
out? How'd I get in here?
And
But
that
there was just a little moment when
There we go.
just a split second where the maestro was kind of gesturing in our direction,
Yeah, I
saying,
was like,
"We have some special guests." I was like,
yeah, man.
"What the fuck?" I was like, "Oh, they send us everything. Maybe they think we're actually important."
So nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, so that was actually a really great event. That was the first time we've ever been to a Distant World concert. But they do them like literally every year. They go on tour. They're everywhere. I will very happily go to the next one. And this one focused on, well, there's kind of a whole range of like bangers from throughout the like all the games. Focused mostly on Final Fantasy XIV. Did stuff from kind of Stormblood onwards, and then also on 16. And I had kind of two key takeaways from the experience, you know, apart from it just being generally awesome. One, it literally made me just like pick up Shadowbringers and like wrap up the main story. Like I got home and I was like, da-da-da-da-da. It was amazing. It was so good. So I really need to get back into that. Two, I really need to play Final Fantasy 15. Holy shit, it looks so good.
Yeah.
I know people like.
I'm surprised you haven't played it. It looks right up your alley. It's like
when
it's
it
Final
first
Fantasy.
came out.
It's Final Fantasy, but with a whole bunch of like emo boys in a car ride, right?
Yeah,
like amazing.
Yeah. And when it first came out, I was like, this is silly. I was like, this is.
Final Fantasy, I get what she's saying, because like Final Fantasy 15 was such a departure from what most people I feel like expected from a Final Fantasy game, because so much of it was just Final Fantasy 13 spin-off repurposed, and Final Fantasy 13 I think lost a lot of people's interests from the way that game was built, but also because of the narrative storytelling. Like Lightning's voice actress, I love her. She's Liara from Mass Effect. Ali Hills, I believe, is her name. I love her in Mass Effect, but like hearing her do that same delivery as Lightning, like regardless of lore reasons for her being that way that they did eventually give her, like it doesn't really get me excited to hear more from that character. Like Cloud has a similar problem in other stuff that I've heard him in, where he was fully voice acted. But like that always felt like that was because he was kind of like emotionally damaged by the series of events that was happening through. Oh, where he was just like emotionally and kind of like mentally compromised. And I know they like explained something for her, like she was. I don't remember. What's like lightning, like a weird soldier that worked for like a robot that pretended to be God or something, and she was like emotionally stunted, so she was kind of like a 2B situation before 2B. Was it something sort of like that? I don't really remember. But like on the flip side of that, as an example, you have the character 2B, who is literally an android, and felt like the characters in that had better range, you know, and like could get me engaged with their dialogue. 5 at 16 at the line at the end of the prologue gave me chills. So I'm not, if I'm gonna jump into a new Final Fantasy that I haven't actually ever finished before, I've bought Final Fantasy 15 like 3 different times. I should fucking finish that game. But after that, I want to play Strangers of Paradise. Ben Starr did an amazing job. Not in the Minecraft movie. Sorry. He had one scene and it was awful. Was it Ben Starr in the Minecraft movie? Let me double check. Who was it? Ben Starr. Before I go in on that poor man, I might be misremembering. Oh, sorry. It wasn't Ben Starr. It was Matt Berry. It was Matt Berry, not Ben Starr. Like a very good voice actor, Mr. Handy in Fallout, killed it in that. He was also in Disenchanted. He's also an Archer. He was one of the robots in Boba Fett, which I thought was very funny. I heard his voice. He was oh, that's right! I heard him on an episode of Last Week Tonight where he did the narration for the sad tale of Henry the Engine. Yes. He's an amazing voice actor, but like hearing him in the Minecraft movie felt like they did it in a single take with no voice director. But anyways, Ben Starr.
It's a silly video game.
Shut up about me about Ben Starr. Shut up.
On a road
me
trip.
Shut up
and
about
then
Ben Starr.
Now, 10 years later, I'm like, this game looks incredible.
Oh wait, sorry. Yes, I was saying, I want to play Strangers of Paradise. I want to play the dumb game with Limp Bizkit. I want to play that one, and then after that, when it's like Final Fantasy 16, is that even on PC yet, or is it still locked to the PS5? Maybe I'll play it if it's on sale on a PC version someday. He makes it so effortlessly funny, right? But I didn't think he was funny because the writing was bad. So like it was just bad. He wasn't funny bad. He was just bad because they didn't give him good material. Still PS5 locked. That's what I thought. So yeah, I need to finish Final Fantasy 15. I kind of owe it to myself for buying that game multiple times on multiple platforms, just so that I get the actual game done and experienced. But also, I do want to play Strangers of Paradise, because that seems like, from what I understand, the gameplay in that game is fun, and there's some really funny, like, ironically funny bits.
Sonic, he's got his attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. He's the
Why do
fastest
you
thing
guys
alive.
keep getting the
He's
wrong
the fastest
Sonic?
thing alive.
You guys, I'm gonna, you know what? I gotta double check. I gotta double check that it's still in there. You've got me worried. I'm checking right now. Twitch channel points. Dun, 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 dun. Trash. Dun, dun, dun. Wait, how did I set this up weird? Where is it? Commands? Trash. So we got, that's the Digimon one. Megas XLR. Mega Man. Sailor Moon. Star Wars. Spyro. Okay, so these are all, so if it's lower than these, it should be in here. Crash Bandicoot. Bustin'. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Pokemon cards. The Tick. Kirby. Ballzuka. X-Men. Shadow Raiders. Ultimate Muscle. Batman Beyond. I'm going through here, all of these, just to verify it for you guys. You better appreciate it. Super Soaker. Super Mario Brothers. Spider-Man. Sonic X. Sonic Underground. Yeah, it's right there. It's right here. Whoop. I'll prove it to you. You just have terrible luck. You just have terrible luck, guys. It's real. There it is.
Learn what's right. Leaders of the freedom fight. They seek their mother. She knows they
do. Is it time if she only knew? Will the prophecy come true? You've known your luck is bad for years? Aww. No. That other Sonic one was really loud? This one that just played or the one that played before? Because I should, if I could turn that one down right now, if that's true, since I'm already in here. Let me do it after this fight. The Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. Yeah, I think I remember that. Somebody was saying that was loud, and I just never found it to adjust it. Okay, I'll fix that right after this. 1 sec. This one's Sonic Underground, right? Sonic Underground. So that means this one should be the louder Sonic. Sonic the Animated Series. All right, it's at 100%. I'm going to turn it down to about 80, and we'll play it right here. You guys tell me if this is too loud.
Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive.
That's still too loud? I can turn it down more. Just let me know. That is better. All right, I'm going to put it down to about 75 just to be safe. Okay. Put it down a little bit more.
Incredible.
All right, we had a
That's
podcast
four
stuff.
emo
Oops.
dudes on a road trip, and you just know there's going to be like some hard-hitting, like emotional stuff there, sitting around the campfire. Yeah, I'm really excited. And then I had this idea where I was like, oh, you know what? I should do a project, right? Because there's always time for more projects. And I was like, I want to play every Final Fantasy game.
Maybe down to 70?
All right, I'll start with 16.
I got it right open here. Let me check.
Yeah, walking back. Yes.
That would be a challenge and a half.
Down to
That'd be amazing.
70.
You'd have
Okay.
to like go through.
We'll try it.
enemies
We'll
before
try
you
it
get
one more time here. You guys let me know if this sounds good. Let me just save. And is it this one? Wait, I turned the... Oops. Wait. Yeah, 70. Wait, does that turn down all of them? It better not. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay. So this one here... Sonic Underground is also at 75 for some reason, but I'm not going to mess with that because you guys seem fine with that volume. All right. Try this one. Boop.
Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive.
Let me turn down a little bit more. 65. Because it's still just tickling the yellow noise gate. I don't want it to be too loud because it's louder than me. So turn it down. There, that should be good. Oh, so you guys know, before I turn the podcast back on, you guys know a snack? I also turned the numbers off on my phone keyboard so I don't randomly keep replacing E or a K with an 8. Something that I started doing as a little snack that's been very, very good. I've just been taking flatbread, either a pita or a falafel, and putting cheese on it, like shredded cheese or cheese curds, and microwaving it so that it melts, and then just wrapping that up with like a little burrito. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good just to have a little hot cheese burrito. Just a little snack. I gotta be careful not to eat too many of those.
Hack them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, that's on my list of like cool big projects I want to do. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Well, are you going to play them all on the sofa downstairs on the PlayStation?
Well,
what
I
are
have
we
to.
on
I
now?
have to
5?
stream it. I have to stream it. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I tell you where that won't truck. I tell you why that won't work. Tell you
What?
what you can't play on the sofa downstairs.
No.
World of Warcraft.
I
And do you know
cannot.
why? Because only the best players who concentrate and play on PC can play World of Warcraft, which I'm using as an amazing segue into our first section.
Oh, it's the it should be the pinned comment. Unless it unpinned itself? Did it unpin itself? I thought I pinned it. Try it again. Slash pin. This is the podcast I'm... Put it for, I guess, 20 minutes? 30 minutes. Oh, that's can't be more than 30 minutes. That's why. All right, there you go. Weird. I wanted to put it up there for like an hour, and it's like, no. All right.
On the podcast today.
Beautiful work, darling.
Thank you.
Beautiful work. Well done.
Go on then, what is it?
What?
What's the first section?
The first section. Are we going to do the little news snippets?
Oh yeah,
Can we
sure.
go through
Okay,
those
yeah,
quickly?
yeah. Do the first. Yeah, do the news snippets. What have we got?
Just in the news this week, in case you missed it, obviously we have a new April trading post up.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the trading? Can I bring up your screen?
Yeah.
Can I show what you're looking at?
I've got it up.
Oh, no.
The
It was an accident, it was an
Dark
accident, it was an
Moon
accident.
And the Garden Gnome Transmogs are kind of the headlines for it. This one's really good. I actually haven't dared go and exchange my tendies yet because I'm worried about my tendy balance. Do you know when your bank balance or whatever balance you have anywhere? You know when you're like, I'm just not gonna look
Your
at it.
girlfriend
and
eats
then maybe
pita
that'll mean
bites,
it's
just a
okay.
bag of mini
And I'm
pita
like,
bread with hummus.
Maybe if I just don't think about it, it'll be fine. That's how I feel about my my tendies at the moment because I blew loads of them recently because they've started adding really good mounts. I feel like they've really upped their tendy game recently.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of chargers. Here, I'll pull up the pictures. The bonus reward is this kind of fun like Arakoa head. If you want to do like a little Arakoa cosplay.
Oh yeah, I got the mask too.
Be nice.
Actually, I just got that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna say, missed. Put that in the super chat. I'll consider it.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you blow up your pictures a little bit? Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So that is the Traveler's Log reward.
Yes.
Okay. So these Arakoa, I call them
Traveler's
Skeksis
Log.
from Dark Crystal.
Okay.
I guess the Arakoa are kind of basic. And I think these are great because these are like totally unique. There's nothing else like these in the game right now. These masks, they look fantastic.
They are pretty cool. I do really dig them. Now I just need to get some like
These
flappy arms.
these are what we're in here
and
right
then
now.
I'm good.
Give it a few years, mate.
Excuse me. I'm already there, baby.
You are
Got
not
the
flappy in
old
slightest.
god
You
eye in
are
there.
tight and packed, and everyone knows it.
And then you get the
right, and then of course
Dark
the
Moon.
I can't click
What are
on
they
this.
called?
Boo, fine, we'll pull up model viewer. Yeah, look at these. Look
They
at
don't-
these.
they don't
guys.
show you them-
Fair
they
stuff
don't
is
show
kind
you
of
them on here?
It comes in purple and green variants.
Yeah.
And the purple is obviously the classic,
It
right?
is.
The purple
But there's
is what we
horses that
associate
have like
with
little
Dark Moon
jester's
Fair.
hats with the
But
Dark
then
Moon
the
Fair
green
flags
stuff's
on them.
Kind of nifty. I
Yeah,
kind
the
of like
green
it.
is
you know?
kind of doing it for
It's
me.
pretty cool.
I think they look really good.
Yeah. And the horses are terrific. And both of them are there. Both of them are on sale just for tendies, straight up,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
They're really lovely. Oh, and then finally,
Why are you doing this on Wowhead? Why aren't you just doing this in your game?
because
You could just go and have a look.
sorry.
But yeah, so you've got the horses and there's a snail mount, 3 mounts as well.
The snail mount rules because I could never be bothered doing the snails in Zarelek
Yeah,
Caverns.
well, that's the thing. We
Oh,
were
yeah, I
on
got the
stream
cute snail.
on Twitch.
Yeah.
That was the one that I went
snail
for more
mount,
than the
popped
than
up,
the
which I
Dark
was not
Moon
expecting.
mounts.
I had the exact same reaction. I was like, "Oh shit, a snail mount!
Yeah.
That's so cool!" And people were like, "What? We've got loads of snail mounts."
like,
It's like,
I
"No,
had
you've got
0.
loads of snail mounts." People who did not bother doing Zarelek Caverns, and much as I love Dragonflight,
Yeah.
did not love Zarelek Caverns too much.
No.
So
Yeah.
I didn't really get on that. So.
No, not crazy about it. But and
That's
then
where
of
I
course, you've
stopped
got
playing
the Garden
Dragonflight
Gnome sets,
when that was
which
current
look
content.
incredible.
These have been in the data
Felt
for
like I had
so
done enough.
long.
They have.
We've
And then
been
I
waiting
came
for
back
these,
for the
and
end of
here they are,
Dragonflight.
But I've got a bone to pick with those sets.
Okay, what's your
Just,
issue?
Because obviously they are kind of glorious and they are kind
Yeah.
of wonderful. And you put them on.
Yeah.
I mean, you put them
Look
on.
at the
gnome.
little grass
Yeah.
like loincloth.
But
It's adorable.
they feature like, and we talk about transmogs a lot in sort of clips, videos, and things like that. So you must know what I'm about to complain about here, surely. So they have. Can you bring them up on the 3D model, or are they just pictures there?
Yeah, these are just pictures.
You
Pull it
have
up here.
like a chest piece there, which features, an asset
I'm getting that
which
sun
should
glare.
be in 3 dimensions. A big button.
Buttons being open.
There's a
yeah.
big
I'll close
button on the
those
front
one
of
sec.
those,
Yeah,
but it's not 3D. It's just painted on.
Yeah, you can get it.
I hate that. Why? We're at this. We have the technology, Blizz. I know you can put a 3D button on there if you want to, and if you don't want to, don't draw a 3D button on there in 2D.
I think that it's especially jarring because you have a big 3D belt
Yeah, well,
buckle
exactly.
directly below it, right?
We all know you can put a 3D button on there if you want, Blizz. Don't. And I'm not insisting that every chess piece needs to have a 3D element to it. I'm just saying, like, if you're not going to have a 3D element, don't pretend. Don't do the fake 3D
Yeah,
stuff.
okay,
anymore.
Yeah,
It
likewise
doesn't work.
with like the top kind of going down onto
Yeah,
the.
I know.
Yeah.
Like it sucks, man. Yeah, so I'm a bit disappointed in that. Won't be so
But-
bad on a gnome where you don't see the chess pieces so well.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
that
no,
outfit.
And then you
I
squished up.
I
I see what he's
tiny.
talking about
Like
with
the shoulders and the hat will be much more important, and the
little
belt will be
gnome
much more
outfit.
important
Yeah.
for a gnome, and that's terrific. So on a gnome, they're gonna look great. On a goblin, they're gonna look great. On anything else, no, I'm going to be offended by that top. So
But let's be real. I think people are in this for the shoulders, right? They're
Yeah,
going to use the
this-
shoulders and the belt, and they're going to incorporate them into loads of
I
other
would
cool
love
transforms.
Yeah, the
something with a
mushroom
big old
shoulders,
cute button
very
on
good.
it. Like that'd be so great. That'd be
On the
so.
back
That'd be
too.
so cute, and it
Two
would show up
buttons.
over your tabards and stuff, and it'd be so because all the 3D elements on chess pieces
Oh,
do.
there you go.
It
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. Okay. I can see why you have that
I
bone.
hope
to
Queenie
pick.
gets
I
it.
do have that bone.
He's very
You
much
have that bone.
It's not like a this is good bone. It's a like this is bad bone. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But I'm still gonna buy them. Still, 380 tendies. Man, I gotta.
Second thoughts already. You haven't even logged into the game. You already have second thoughts.
I need to do my tendy like maths, and I don't want to. I really don't want to
Do
because
you know
I
how
know.
many tendies you've got right now?
I usually hover around like 1,000, but I've spent loads of them.
Really?
Like I've spent loads of them recently because loads of stuff came up. Because they're putting like actually cool
I've been
mounts
saving
on it now.
pretty
Do you remember
well.
there was a period where it was like, like, am I gonna?
I'm at,
am
like,
I gonna,
1,500-ish?
Am I gonna spend my tendies? No.
Probably
and
not
then
buy
I literally
anything
had
else for
thousands
this.
of tendies because I didn't bother spending them.
I'm
But
kind of hit or
now,
miss on that horse.
There's good
so.
stuff.
Okay.
Including.
I spent a lot of tendies this month. I
Oh,
just
did
gotta say.
you?
Yeah,
I
I
bet
went
you
in there
did.
with like 1,700. I've got like 400 left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So I've got to
So
check
the
if I can
prowler
afford
masks,
anything.
the prowler masks, and the war skirts. And I don't love the war skirts so much. I know people do, but I'm all about the prowler masks.
Yeah,
the
they're
prowler
good.
masks are one of those things, and the Zorro masks as well. And
Yes.
the new like shoulder cloak things.
Where are they?
They
There
are
they go.
those things where it's like, I don't have any characters I want to put them on right now.
But you know you will.
One day I will. And when I decide
Uh-oh.
to do the Zorro mask or I decide to do the Prowler mask, like, God forbid I don't have every
You're
single
fine,
color
Brand,
available to
you
choose
big
from.
baby.
So I've seen loads of people running around with the black coat you get, from the
Neo
rep.
coat from the rep.
The
Are you
Neo
gonna get
coat.
it?
And
That's basically all my streams now, by the way. We sit
Just
there
farming.
talking about
Oh, not even farming, just-
not
just
politics,
talking
just
about
so
it.
you know, just everything. And then we are farming at the same time.
Okay, good. You know what?
Yeah.
I might start doing that too, actually, because it's so good. But then I saw someone wearing like all black,
Stop
like
doing the
wearing just an
shadow
all
barrier.
black set with it, and I was like,
There's-
oh, I don't think I bought like all of the black stuff off of the
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the trading
like
post.
Wait, are you saying that?
I've already
saying
missed
You
out.
want the Neo coat with like a black Prowler mask?
Or just like
I
all
don't think
head to
there's been a
toe.
black. I don't know if there's been a black Prowler mask yet.
Anyway,
I think you might be onto something. Don't worry. I think like I think the darkest one we've had was for
How
like
about
Hallow's End or
kind
something,
of
but
the
it was like a dark
greyish?
purple.
You're
like,
right,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
okay. Clearly,
so,
I just need to
oh
get my
my
stuff
god, can you
elsewhere.
imagine when they do that? Help me out in chat. I don't think there's been a black Prowler mask, right? But one day there will be a black Prowler mask. and
Oh yeah, I
people
just
are gonna
forgot. Their
put that
podcast is
Neo
also
coat.
just them on
Oh
Twitch
my god,
and YouTube
it's gonna
chat.
be so, with a mask. I mean, there'll be Reaper from Overwatch. It'll be
Yeah.
so good.
it's gonna be great.
Oh my god.
We've also got the lavender spring collections, which are fun.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's
I'm
coming
glad
back.
those aren't-
Yeah,
so-
and
Those
some
aren't
purple
really
things,
to my
and of course
taste,
some
so I'm not
weapon
spending money
transmogs.
on them.
Yeah, the
Or
offhands
money,
don't show
but
up very well on the
currency.
Wowhead article there, but they are like D12s.
Oh,
They're like these spinning D12s with little kind of symbols on them. So you've got the green one and the
Oh,
purple
love
one as
that.
well. So a nice bit of TTRPG going on there.
Very
as well, which is
nice,
cool.
yeah.
And the weapons,
Weapons are good.
surprisingly cool actually as well.
Yeah.
Of course, come in like purple and green variants. as well.
Surprisingly
It's an absolute
cool.
banger month if you like that kind of aesthetic.
if you're into that sort of thing.
And,
Uh-oh,
you
I
know,
think I might have
there's
just
that thing,
screwed
isn't it,
myself here.
where we are starting to think about player housing, and obviously it's going to be utilized up the wazoo in terms of like monetization and things like that. But I'm pretty sure like a lot of it will appear
Down
on the
here.
trading post as well.
Ugh.
And in fact, I know of a lot of people
Back up, Brand. Get back up,
already
Brand.
now who aren't ever buying anything on the trading post because they are saving up their tendies for player housing stuff. Because they're like, I like this stuff, but I don't want to get caught out when player housing stuff starts getting put on there.
That's
I
true.
want to have enough tendies to buy literally everything. Because like player housing is going to be my babe. I want to buy everything on there.
Be my
I want
babe.
to treat it right. I want to I want to come home with gifts every time I walk through that door. I want to have something new. I can go, here you are, house. I bestow this upon you.
Yeah.
And so I know lots of people that are saving up their tendies for that express
Spooky, but we
purpose
did
right
it.
now.
Gosh, that makes sense.
It does, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah.
But it's just like real life. I should be saving my tendies.
I should be saving money for
Look
like
at
making
this-
my house and my life better, but I'm buying nice trousers instead.
Yeah, I'm just buying cool mounts. As
Wait,
you
what?
do. Yeah. Moving on.
So that was awesome. Yeah,
I don't
the
need to
trading
fight
post this month is
that
a winner.
there.
If you had to buy something from it right now, Evie, what would you buy?
Honestly, I'd probably buy the snail mount.
No
I think
way!
it's so
Okay,
cool.
that's not the
It's
answer
so
I was
good.
expecting. That's
Sorry.
awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
I was also extremely excited. They made
one
me
of
feel stupid
these.
on the stream, Evie. They made me feel bad
Oh,
on the stream
baby,
by
don't
how
ever let them
excited
do
I
that.
was about the snail mount.
I think he's so cool. Yeah, I literally didn't. I did not do that content. I did not. I did Xerolite Caverns, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. So, yeah, I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna get one of the. No, probably both.
Ran alive.
Which
a little
charger
bit
am I gonna
here.
get? I can't get both. I've only got like
I was exactly the same, and it's kind of like the Butasaur question again. It's like, do I get the green one because less people are going to have the green one, so I'm cooler, or do I get the purple one because it actually
Fran,
looks
why
better?
do you always go
which
out
one
of
do
line
I
of
go
sight
for? Do I
on
get
me,
the
my
one that I
man?
actually want that looks better?
You want to
or do I go for the
die?
one that's
Are
gonna
you
be a
just
bit
tired of
cooler
doing
and rarer
delves
because
with
it doesn't
me?
look
That's
as
what's
good?
happening.
Life's big question,
Difficult,
isn't it? Isn't it?
difficult. Okay, so snail mount. Maybe I'll get you the snail mount. I'll get you a snail mount, babe.
Thanks,
I'll treat
darling.
you right. We've got an anniversary coming up.
Thanks,
Is there like a copper snail mount? Because it's our copper wedding anniversary coming up.
Is that this year?
That's 7 years.
Wow.
Is
8
it 7
seconds
years?
left. All right.
I feel like we've been married 7 years, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
7 years, copper anniversary. Yeah.
I thought you were a
Yeah.
gooner too.
in the
Woohoo.
mail, right? Oh, I'll just send you lots of copper in the mail.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah, in World
Oh, I'd
Warcraft.com.
love that.
Yeah,
I'd
you'd
love
love that.
that.
and it'll take you all day to open it, all year to open it until our next anniversary.
Aww.
And you better hope that's the silver,
Oh.
or the cake anniversary.
There is a cake anniversary,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else is going on this week? I am a raider, Evertel.
Yeah.
I love to raid.
I know.
I'm getting my Galaggio rep.
me about it. You're
I'm
raiding
knocking it
tonight.
all out of the park. So what are we looking at this week in the Galaggio rep?
So if you've been keeping up with your raid
All right.
reputation, which is really simple to do, you can do it on LFR, you can do it on any level. You just kill
no, you're fine.
X amount of bosses, lieutenants, etc.
Different anniversary things confuse me all the time. Like, how does anyone know which one is what? I mean, before the internet, I'm sure there was like a list somewhere, probably at like a jewelry shop. Like, some of them are so random. Like, let me see. Anniversary gifts by year. First, paper. Modern gift, clock. Second, cotton. Modern gift, china. Third, leather. Modern gift, crystal glass. Fourth, fruit flowers. Modern gift, appliances. This is all just bullshit made up by people to make you buy things you wouldn't normally buy. Diamond is on here 4 different times. Just to let you know how much of a ripoff this kind of thinking is. But specifically in the modern gift, they replaced some of the cheapest traditional gifts with the more expensive modern gifts. Traditional fruit or flowers, modern appliances, that's a massive jump up in costs. 10th anniversary tin aluminum modern gift diamond jewelry. Like 20th anniversary China modern gift platinum. Stupid. But whenever they mention a precious gem like a ruby or a sapphire, there's no modern update to that because that's already expensive.
On the track. This week, you should be getting ranks 5 and, well, you should be getting 6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
so-
6.
so 5 was
Hopefully, I'm
last
going to get
week.
5 and 6 because I'm behind.
Yeah, so
I
you
missed a
should be able to catch up.
whole raid week
All right,
basically
dingus.
by
Yeah.
going to London.
So the most recent one is getting the raid skip quest. So this literally unlocks a quest which takes you to Muggsy, but you just have to defeat him once.
Oh yeah, no, I've got that.
You got this week? Oh yeah, that was last week. Oh good. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah. This week is like the res, isn't it?
This week is the self-res.
Uh-oh.
So once every 30 minutes, you get a self.
Not in the circle. Why was I taking damage?
Cannot be in combat, so
once every 30 minutes sounds about right.
Yeah.
When I'm spent, I often just need to have a little rest for a time. Sometimes if I'm lucky, 10 minutes, but often 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So and it's a self-res. You don't have to rely on anyone else to do it for you. So it's
I find it's quicker and works better when there is someone else.
Yeah,
but if I'm gonna do it myself, I will.
So that's what you get this week, and you know, even you can't necessarily do it in combat, but it's still situationally useful, like when you are crossing the street and you die.
I mean,
and you
honestly, that is the number one situation.
Humiliation.
God, who would have thought that we were going to get a raid one day where literally the hardest boss, they've replaced the elevator boss with the crossing the road boss. And, and
just die.
Why did they have to add like, the animation to it where it completely gibs you as it drives past you and you explode
into
in
a pile of meat
into gibs. It's disgusting, and there's just gibs all over the road, and you're like, that was me
It's so everyone can laugh at you.
Yeah, it is. It is hilarious. It is really good, and it's the kind of thing that no matter how far you get in that raid and how good you are, you get absolutely nailed. And
you do.
Reach that treasure room entrance.
And the worst thing is when you think you can cheat by jumping into the car of someone who's a better driver than you, but they still crash.
And they still die. Yeah.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
And it's both of you.
It's so embarrassing.
Delver of
no
Depths
need to worry about that anymore because at Renown level 6
the War Within delves
this week,
on
you
tier
should
8
be
or higher.
golden.
You must be relieved. What's your Galagia rep at the moment?
I think it's probably like 3 or 4. I'm slightly behind, like you.
I've got my like 3% increase in damage and stuff. Oh,
cool.
because of course I should also say this while we're talking about the raid.
Oh,
but Immortalis did complete the Race to World First Heroic for guilds with the name
I
of
don't
like
have a key.
Immortalis.
Congratulations.
Sunday, as expected, really. It's not
fine. I'm getting under coins at least.
Easy raid, but we came second.
I got Wriggle.
Race to World First Heroic
I got a little fishy boy.
And the winners are
a bit like Immortalis.
Yeah, they did reigning champions.
They did it on their reset on Tuesday, so a full 5 days before us in the end. But there was a time where we were both progressing Gallywix at the same time, which I'm going to count as, you know,
the wily fish has never been caught at the end of an angler's hook.
You know, they got there
caught a completely different way.
But I'm going to say that was a neck and neck race to the finish, is what I'm going to say.
It was a good race.
Like a 2-horse race of the 2 best teams in the world. With names a bit like Immortalis. Grassed a bit like Immortalis. Like they always put up a good fight. But I'm also happy.
So there's one other deep delve that I could
better than we've done for a very long time.
Yeah. I'm going to take a short break to grab something to eat. I am hungry, and I'll leave the podcast on because I can also still hear the podcast.
Very cool. Congratulations, team. And I got to say, it was a very easy raid. At heroic level. Apparently, it's quite hard at Mythics. So
really, okay.
Yeah. And I've talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But for me personally, I would like Heroic to get a little bit harder, because the step up from Heroic to Mythic at the moment is huge. I would say bigger than it's ever been,
really?
Simply because Heroic is getting easier. It used to be that, like, if you could do Heroic, you know, you could jump into Mythic and it would be kind of like the earlier bosses would be on a par sort of thing. I don't think that's the case anymore, and it makes kind of. I'm actually of the opinion now, and I wouldn't have felt like this a couple of years ago, but I'm of the opinion now where I would actually like to see, in between Heroic and Mythic, I would like to see a Mythic Flex difficulty level. That's what I'd like to see. Just because I think the most difficult... I think there are so many players that want the difficulty of the bosses at Mythic level, but simply have no hope of getting like a steady 20 people. Either their team is too big or too small, and ours is always too big or too small. Like, and we don't want to bench people. That's not why we raid, really. So, but like, we do want the difficulty of the flex raiders, but we simply can't have like the 20. And obviously, like, flex by definition would be easier than the set 20. So it would be like an easier, but like, you know, and I know that would throw the balance out and stuff like that. But I think there would be a market for it. I'd really like to hear your opinions about it. I think now I'm of the opinion that Mythic Flex, not replacing Mythic Raid, but being
just having another step.
being an extra kind of like difficulty in there. Because I think for most heroic teams wanting to step into Mythic, it's not the difficulty that they're kind of, especially not these days where we have so much access to gear and stuff like that to get us ready for it. You know, you can kind of go in there with Mythic gear if you're doing your Mythic Plus and stuff. But Yeah, it really is that it's the strict 20-man size, which is the issue for so many teams. I think Flex would definitely help out with that.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's my opinion
There's
at the
something
moment.
to that, definitely.
And I reserve the right for my opinion to change, and it does often. But that's my thinking right now. Yeah, yeah. You can come along if you like.
Thanks.
To
Yeah.
our Flex
definitely.
Mythic team, because it's Flex, man.
Oh.
We don't have to bench anyone.
Chill.
I'll actually get in. I'll actually get in the team. It'd be amazing. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. But there are honestly, for the first time at the end of the raid, there are bosses where I couldn't honestly tell you what some of the mechanics were. You know, because we killed them in like 2 pulls, and then we one-shot them when we farmed them, and I haven't had time. I was concentrating on my healing, and I wasn't concentrating on the mechanics that I knew wouldn't affect me as a healer. So like, I don't know how the bombs work in Gallywix. I don't know how, like, there's some reverb thing in reverb. I don't know how that works. There's like, I don't know how the one-armed bandit thing works. I don't know how any of that works. That's a hunter job, man. I don't do that. Like, and honestly, if one day I was in there as a DPS and someone asked me to do the bombs in Gallywix or the one-armed bandit shit, I'd be like, no, I literally can't. I literally don't know what it is. And I don't think I've ever felt like that at the end of, like, after clearing heroic, I don't think I've ever felt like that about bosses. So it really did kind of fly past.
Yeah. Even on our kind of like alt runs, like the normal guild runs, you know, like we did it the first week it came out, and you know, it was pretty good. We got up to like Mugsy, and then second week we just flew through it.
Yeah, with that extra 10 item levels. Or whatever,
exactly. And just like one shot every boss, including Gallywix at the end. And then it was funny. It happened so quickly that we literally had like an hour and a half left of the raid. And everyone was like, okay, ready? Do you want to do, should we jump into heroic? And everyone was like, no. Yeah. I think just because it went by so quickly. But I haven't been in those for the past couple of weeks. So maybe they're like totally bossing heroics now.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
I bet they are.
Honestly, like good raid leader in Gunnath there as well. So,
yeah.
And just to be clear, I wouldn't want to Mythic raiding, like the strict 20-man Mythic raiding with Flex. I'd rather not have Flex Mythic raiding than do that, because I think there is something to be said for Mythic raiding still being the highest level of play in WoW. I think that's worth preserving. I think that's good.
I agree.
And you simply can't tune it to the kind of precision that you need to be able to tune it if it's Flex. You know? The reason it's 20-man is because it's like, okay, we know how many people are going to run here. We can make these checks exactly what we want to do. Exactly what we want to do. We can tune it so we know there's only so many abilities that can deal with this and things like that. And I would not like to lose that, because I think it is important to have that level of play in the game, even if only 1% of people actually kind of engage with it. I think it is good to have that.
I was making
so I would
my
never want to replace that, but I would be up for introducing
that I was just talking about, and the cat could smell it from the other room and ran into the kitchen. And I had to be like,
that would
"Oh,
still
sorry,
be
buddy,
the highest level of play." Maybe give it like an extra 2 levels on the item levels or something like that. I don't fucking know. Just like, but yeah, and like the cutting edge achievement would still be from the 20-man and stuff like that. But I think there is a market for heroic teams that heroic has passed them. It's too easy for them now, or they've just worked really hard and got through heroic, who would love to set foot in mythic but simply can't because of logistics rather than skill. You know,
save those.
Can you stop talking about something else while I go and blow my nose? I haven't quite recovered from a cold at the moment, and I was working before we started.
This delve right here fucking got me. This is the first time where I wiped 5 times solo, because there was one specific group of mobs that Bran could not handle that just kept destroying him. It was so annoying. It just was like, I'm crowd controlling, I'm killing them, and he still was just getting melted. It was so obnoxious.
20 people. Either their team is too big or too small, and ours is always too.
Oh,
sorry, I accidentally skipped.
Chill.
I'll actually get in. I'll actually get in the team. It'd be amazing.
On the podcast. Looking forward to number 7.
But there are honestly, for the first time at the end of the raid, there are bosses where I couldn't honestly tell you what some of the mechanics were. You know.
Well, that cheesy spell
to the kind of
but I'm gonna wait.
precision that you need to be able to tune it if it's flex. You know, the reason it's 20 man is because it's like, okay,
you're doing
we know
okay.
how
You
many
had your
people
day
are in
off.
here.
That's
we can
good.
make
I'm
these
glad.
checks
I hope
exactly
you.
what
I
we
hope
want
you
them to
did
in
something
theory. Exactly what we
fun
want them
and
to be. We can
relaxing.
tune it so we know there's only so many abilities that can deal with this and things like that, and I would not like to lose that because I think it is important.
Hopefully,
to have
it
that
wasn't
level of
subjecting
play in the game,
yourself
even if only 1%
to
of people
the
actually
terrible
kind of
Minecraft
engage
movie,
with it. I think it
unless
is
you
good
like
to
bad
have that.
movies.
So I would never want to replace
That
that.
I would
but
recommend that
I would be
highly.
up for introducing a flex underneath that. So like the race to world first would still be the 20 man and stuff at the moment, and I was working.
Sorry, I'm
before
skipping
we started
forward
this
trying to
podcast.
find where I
jumped
left
straight
off.
into it. I haven't had
You
time
got
to
it,
go
babe.
down or anything yet, so I'm just gonna jump.
Less talking, more blowing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Always been my motto. Are you kidding? It is our anniversary soon as well, so.
You got lunch with your friend, and then you hung out and played a few games. Oh, nice. Hey, yo. I mean, Allison is super in love with his wife and will take every opportunity to make jokes about how they get to sleep together. He loves his wife so much that is like when the podcast that I'm watching, it's an archived YouTube video of their podcast they do on stream. You could tell he was like vibrating in his seat because his wife hadn't been home for like a couple of weeks. He was so excited she was back. It was very cute.
While Tally goes and does that, other little point of news this week. Coming up on, hold on, I've got on my notes ready. You're going to see my notes very quickly. It's not very exciting. There we go. Guild name changes are going to retire from the shop soon, and then will be replaced with a cost of 200k gold on April 22nd. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. Honestly, I think this is cool and it makes sense. There's, you know, if we can put more services like in the game for golds, it's all good.
Yeah,
I think it's great,
sure.
as
I
opposed to
agree
paying
with
money
that.
for it. I can't even imagine how many people paid money for it recently, so they're probably like, let's put it in game. Also, you know, 200,000 gold. Do I have it right now? No, but almost. But as a guild, if we wanted to change our name, say to
I'm almost at 1 million,
bits,
which is not even that much in this
like
game.
a bit like Immortalis, if we really want to go meta, we could do that. We could all pool our resources and change our names. So I think that's pretty cool, actually. That's kind of all we had in terms of the news snippets.
Which I should eat some, so if I do want
and then
her
I
up
think
in
we're
my
gonna
lap,
move
I
on
can.
to
Oh, it's still hot. Oh, it's still very hot.
for M+. Oh, God. Which I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this, because I know Tally's choice. Do you know Tally's choice? It's Dawnbreaker. Tally voted for Dawnbreaker.
So the other person that lived in the basement moved out last week, and there have been people doing something in that other apartment. I don't know if I don't think it's people moving in. I think there's somebody like trying to fix up whatever they left there, because when they moved out, they had the movers just kind of like wrecking shit. Like they damaged doors, they damaged walls, they damaged stairs. They did not give a shit. I don't know what happened, but that lady, when she moved out, did not give a flying fuck about what happened to that apartment after she. I don't know if she moved out because she wanted to, or if she got evicted, or what. But like, she did not give no shit, and she also didn't really give a shit when she moved in. And I ended up having to help her because they couldn't get their appliances. I think maybe they're moving stuff down the stairs. But like when they moved in, I had to help them move some of their furniture in because they got their stuff stuck in my doorway. Like she was trying to bring a fridge in that wouldn't fit, and I needed to open my door to my apartment so they could try to fit it in, and then it got stuck in my door frame, and my door frame got damaged. and she was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I'll cook you something." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm like a vegetarian if that matters." She's like, "Oh no, I'll just like make you some cookies." I never got those cookies. Never got those cookies. I was here for a year. Never got those cookies. Anyways.
He voted for the rookery, which I don't think is going to swing it. So yeah, it's yeah. So we'll have a little chat about our new Mythic Plus favorite, which will be going into season 3. But I'm not. I don't know. I at the moment, and this is just
Wait, is this one not
EU.
bountiful?
I'm not sure
Am I
what
in the wrong delve?
US state of things is at the moment. But in EU, we've got
Bountiful delve.
Arakara at the top.
There we go.
Which I don't know. Did I really expect it? Not really, but I think people are just voting
Yeah,
in
this
terms
is the one
of
that
like the trinket. I think people want to
wrecked
see the
me.
trinket.
The
Wait,
goblin
you're
got
talking about the
swallowed up and
votes?
spit
I
back
moved
out.
some of the votes.
Specifically,
So
why I
good.
wouldn't ever vote for Arakara. Oh, you got results there?
Well, so this is where we stand right now,
Oh
and this
my
is just in the
God.
EU. And so yeah, I was just saying, Arakara is at the top.
I mean, that's
The vote.
predictable because, like, okay, so the reason everyone's
Wait,
voting for
Arakara.
Arakara, there are 2 reasons.
Yeah.
But one of them is the reason I would never vote for Arakara in this, is because, well, one, they're voting for it because it's a very short dungeon.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh.
very easy dungeon, relatively, I think, and that's great.
Yeah.
But the other reason is that trinket.
Yeah, of course.
And it's a very powerful trinket. It's a really cool trinket.
Still have
but
it in my bags.
The exact reason I wouldn't vote for Arakara is because I don't want to spend all my time, like,
Grinding for the trinket
grinding
again.
that trinket
Same.
on all of my because it's the best for
Absolutely.
like everyone.
I know.
Which one? What are they talking about? Your abilities have a chance. With the sack releasing an egg, which grants 19. No, wait. All classes. Arakara. It is the sack brood. Each egg hatches after 1 minute, and the new brood attacks your next target. Huh. Get a little spider that rides around on your back. Next, have a chance to give you a buff. Buff expires to get another buff without a duration. Ow! Dude. Hi, wizards. Yeah, apparently this is like a best in slot trinket for everyone. Apparently. I don't really follow that kind of meta. Good for them, I guess.
No,
And
I
it's
know.
just like, I just don't want to do it, man.
Come on,
I just don't
Marge,
want
maybe
to. And I
I'm
don't
not
think it's a
getting
great
enough.
dungeon either, to be
Take my
honest.
1 point redeem, but there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I
appreciate
gave
how
it
short
to
is,
you.
and that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I don't want to be playing that game. I don't want to be doing that.
And I think there's also potential, you know, you do fine on the first 2 bosses and then you get to the last and then, you know, if you're not, you could just wipe it, right? By just
Yeah,
not doing the
yeah, yeah,
mechanics.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, great. Great, right?
I know that little kind of like gauntlet where you can go left
I'm just
or
eating
right
my little
after the bridge
cheesy-
after the first boss.
my little cheesy
is like where it can
Tostito
collapse that
burrito.
whole. Oh, and as you go into like the inside building as well with all like the flying swarmers as well.
Yeah.
I always thought it was quite a nice dungeon to heal and tank. But it's not my fave. Ask me at the end of the season. And here's the thing: we're voting at the beginning of season 2 right now.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see these results. This is
Well, yeah,
really good.
Operation Floodgate is second at the
Operation
moment.
Flood. Okay, so
Okay.
Operation Floodgate is an absolute banger. Like Operation Floodgate, I sincerely believe has the potential
Sorry.
to be remembered as one
I
of the
just-
best Mythic Plus
it's like a
dungeons of all
Canadian
time.
one.
I think like
I
it's
took
got
a
everything.
flatbread,
It's got like
I
endless
put
choices
cheese
of
curds in it,
routes.
which are the
It's
special
got
kind of
interesting
cheese we
boss
use for
fights. It's got some
poutine.
really brutal healing checks, which I always
And I
look
melted
forward to
it,
as a healer.
and I'm just eating
it's
it.
great. It's really good. And since they made the change
That's all it is.
on the swamp guy boss, remember that one that we
Yes, I do,
wiped
yeah.
on quite a lot of times
The
in guild
waves,
group for a
yeah.
while? Yeah,
We wiped? Never.
It's good, it's good, it's
It was he was wipe thing, not swamp thing. That was when the dungeon first came out, and
Exactly.
there's always little kind of roadblocks like that when a dungeon first comes out.
You okay?
But
Where are
they
you?
changed it really
Can
quickly.
you sell me the water thing?
So that the healer never gets linked.
Oh, I didn't even realize
the
they
links
changed
that
that.
go out, it's only between tanks and DPS,
Oh,
and the
okay.
healer always has free reign. So
Okay.
the healer can just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So as a healer main, I'm like, yeah, awesome.
Gotta
boss,
watch. So
brilliant,
somebody was
fantastic,
eating.
nice
Love
one.
it.
So
Goblet.
and it was also one of those mechanics which was always going to wipe people in the first week, but is actually one of the easier mechanics to deal with as the season goes on, because it doesn't scale. Like, you know, it doesn't get harder, that mechanic, as you go up in keys. That mechanic will always be exactly as difficult, because it's just getting out of stuff and moving together. So, you know, it's the mechanics where
And we just
there's
gotta
a
see
big
if there's
hit
that one
hits
group
harder
of
and harder
mobs
as the
that
keys
will
go up, the
destroy me
difficult
like it
ones.
always.
Yeah.
So I love Floodgate. I think it's brilliant. What's next? Priory. I am surprised to see Priory doing so well.
Me too.
But I'm really happy, because I think that is another banger of a dungeon. I will click on a Priory key if I see that come up on the LFG. 90% of the time over anything else that's up there at the moment. I'm like, yeah, I love Priory. I love how methodical.
Wonder if I
the
should just
trash
looking
pulling
for
in it
group
is. I love how intense
low-level
the last
mythic
kind of room
dungeon.
is. I love how many options there are on the
Never
last
done
boss.
that.
It's fantastic, and it looks spectacular, and the music is great, and it's just an awesome dungeon. I'm so into it. I love.
Am I looking for?
I thought everyone was going to hate it, and
Hair
I'm really
kits.
surprised to see so many people voting
Okay.
for it. So that's brilliant.
I voted for the Rookery because I think it's
Oh.
pretty straightforward and easy.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the wrong reason.
I can
should
see
maybe
you
I-
voted for the Rookery.
Yeah, and like maybe I shouldn't have voted for something that I just found really simple. I should have
No, you vote for it if you like. babe.
voted for Arakara.
You do it.
So
No,
we
you
farm the
What, just so
trinket
you're on the
again.
winning team.
Big
Well,
lobster
here's the
over
thing,
there
you
with
didn't
the
need to vote for
pleasure.
Arakara because it's already winning, so it's
Well,
absolutely fine.
we'll see. We'll see.
How many hours do you
Dawnbreaker
think-
is, Dawnbreaker
or no, you haven't
currently
WoW?
I think it's fantastic as well.
There
I
you go.
personally think, and I will die on this hill, and then I'll self-res, is that I think Dawnbreaker is the best Mythic Plus dungeon of all time. I do not think there's a better dungeon ever made than Dawnbreaker.
Wow.
Because it's just so
This-
exciting. I love
in
the freedom of,
total,
like,
I have
mounting up
apparently
and
played
flying over to a
on this
ship,
account
and then you're doing stuff and you're
44
flying down
days,
into the
12
city,
hours,
and you're
43
flying
minutes.
around when the boss is doing her thing, and you're like,
On
I just-
this
I just think
character
it's
at
great,
this
and I
level,
like the actual
17
fights
days.
and the
Which-
it's
that
actually like
somehow
a
doesn't sound
deceptively
correct to me.
straightforward dungeon,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know if that's accurate,
Yeah.
but that's what it's
moving.
telling me.
Right.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
Dawnbreaker. So if Dawnbreaker gets in there,
I think it's
I
more
will
than
be
that.
Extremely happy.
But I've
People
been
talk about how
playing
buggy it
since,
is
like,
and
the
floor not
second
really
ever
existing in the
expansion
boat,
that
and it's
came
like,
out.
yeah, you know what? Once I went through the floor of the boat, and do you know what I did? I learned that happened, and I landed it on a way where it didn't happen to me anymore, and I think it happened to me once again in the entire season. Like, you know, just saying. And like, again, I really enjoyed tanking that dungeon and healing that dungeon. It's a great time. Cinderbrew Meadery. Do you know
Sounds
what?
kind of
I
all
actually
right.
really like
No, I
how
think
these
it's
votes are
definitely
going.
more than that. I
Yeah,
think that's just an
it's
inaccurate
surprising,
number.
isn't
I'm really happy with these votes. Cinderbrew
I don't know if that's like
Meadery
on
is-
this
okay, so,
server,
like, guys, back me up.
on
here.
this specific
Cinderbrew Meadery
character,
and
maybe.
they're the same dungeon, right? Like, they're
Wait, I missed what he was saying there.
a great time. Cinderbrew Meadery. Do you know what? I actually really like how these votes are going.
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't
I'm
it?
really happy with these votes. Cinderbrew Meadery is okay. So, like, guys, back me up here. Cinderbrew Meadery and the Stone Vault. They're the same dungeon, right? Like, they're the same fucking dungeon. Surely, like, they made one map and they went, let's just make them two different dungeons but the same map, right? The entire layout and
Why are you not eating
everything
food? Hurry
about
up and
those
heal.
dungeons feels pretty much exactly the same. And I have to say, I like Stone Vault a lot. I think Stone Vault
I
was a
can
good dungeon.
believe the 44
But,
days on just this
Cinderbrew
character.
Meadery is better than Stone Vault because of the objectively hilarious voice lines. Like, it's a good dungeon. It's got some. The boss fights in particular are interesting in Cinderbrew Meadery, and yeah, like in Stone Vault, you've got some excellent, just like what people love in
For WoW.
Mythic Plus, right? Which is like tank, gather those
A lot,
mofos up, 'cause
yeah.
I'm gonna AOE them, right?
Really depends on
and
how
that's
long you've been
always
playing
cool.
for.
But you've got the added bonus of like the excellent bee puns, the never-ending bee puns, and it was literally. And I've always said that I'm not a big goblin enjoyer generally.
How
and
dare you.
It was like the first patch of War Within, which really won me over to the goblin cause, where I was in a position where I was actually really looking forward to the big goblin patch, this patch, right? And I've enjoyed it a lot.
Good.
But it was Cinderbrew Meadery that did that. It was like just how much fun the voice lines in Cinderbrew Meadery are.
Yeah.
They are like infinitely quotable.
Such as?
Yeah, we had to lock up your bees. That just makes me laugh every time. It's like, and now you're riding around on my bees like some nature-loving weirdo? It's just really good. Letting them go free range was too expensive. Like, it's just like, oh, it's so good. And even like the really annoying stone meadery guy, who I don't otherwise really like, has some excellent lines as well. Yep. He's like, my directive, my passion. It's just like, I am a big, very quotable dungeon line enjoyer. But my favorite line in that whole dungeon isn't even the boss. It's the bee boss from the right-hand path. When he comes on, you have to get on the bees and ride them, and you know it's a clusterfuck, that boss. I never know what's going on. But when he comes out, he goes, "Time to fuck up my bees."
No, he doesn't.
He absolutely does. He comes out and he goes, "Time to fuck up my bees." And you're like, what
does he actually
what
say?
did you say? He says it's time to fuck up my bees. And it makes me laugh every single time because I'm like, holy shit, Blizz put a line that says time to fuck up my bees in this. I don't know. I actually don't know what the line is supposed to be, but he definitely 1,000,000% says time to fuck up my bees. And I think that's brilliant. And
there have been other games where it's been like that, like So Long Gay Bowser being probably like the most famous one.
And I do, and we do, and we fuck up the bees, and the fight is over, and all is well. So there we go. I love Cinderbrew Meadery.
It has to get points just for being like a joyful.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you always need like
don't steal my breath.
Joyful dungeon in the rotation.
You're gonna do that, at least kiss me.
Every season, and I think that's the one.
And I have had some atrocious, miserable runs through Cinderbrew Meadery.
Okay.
I've had some miserable wipes. I've had wipes where we got to the final boss with 10 minutes remaining, and the final boss is a walk in the park.
There's no way he isn't saying So Long Gay Bowser in that. He's saying So Long Gay,
right? And that annoyed me.
But yeah, it does feel like he's. It's like how the voice actor for Knuckles was asked to say a line, so it made it sound like he was saying "fuck." Like the voice director was like, "Hey, could you say it a little bit with like this kind of inflection?" I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes." Like they were pushing him to make it sound.
Look for the bubbles and get some air.
That's right. I got a bubble in my pocket. He was pushed by the voice director to say "fuck."
I will fuck up those bees anytime. Cinderbrew Meadery gets my second vote. Simple as that. No, it will get my third vote after Dawnbreaker and Priory, probably. So yeah, I want Dawnbreaker, I want Priory. Darkflame Cleft I don't love.
No.
The mini game is fine, just like everyone knew it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I find it just kind of like a bit of a boring dungeon, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
Likewise, the Rookery, it just doesn't really sing to me.
No, it is. It's just you're in and out, right? Stone Vault, you get the chance to get them out,
bad?
of course. So.
Oh shit! Yeah.
A poison bubble? That's a fake
dude.
bubble.
I think the joys of Stone Vault, like I say, are very similar to those of Cinderbrew. I do like the.
There's such a long pause between long and gay.
Or dwarf buff that you get in the Stone Vault. I like the route that you can take that takes you to the
the shark. The shark's coming.
An anvil, and you click on it, and it gives you a really big like versatility buff.
I don't want to
Just long
die.
enough to kill that really annoying like duo boss.
Ran, I don't know if you're gonna make it, man.
Yeah.
And City of Threads being last is.
No one,
I'm surprised 2%
no
of people voted for City of Threads, if I'm completely honest.
That's just the jokers.
Yeah.
That's just it's just people shit posting. Basically.
Yeah, seriously, that's the Final Fantasy 14 fans. Those are the ones that want to fuck up your bees right there. Like, let's fuck up their bees. Let's make everyone miserable about this game. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So
it's all the classic enjoyers like, get them.
So I think that this post closes in a week, so it should be closing shortly.
Run away.
So get your vote in if you haven't
get
yet.
you
Now,
back
this is
up.
just the EU side of things. I have not checked the US one, which might be completely different.
Maybe we should check the US one. How do you do that?
I have no idea.
I'll have a look for it.
Here.
So
Go to the
I
shark.
think I'll take
This
off
is
your
where it's
screen.
starting to make me
Yeah, go off
nervous.
your screen. I know where
I
to
think the
find it.
tricksters are the ones that I really need to focus on.
What's interesting about
They
this
spawn
is
little
there are a
shadow
number of
versions of
things that
themselves
this
that
kind of
fuck me up.
suggests about season 3.
Yeah.
One is that it's probably the last season of the expansion, which means there wouldn't be a season 4. Usually you'd expect the original kind of launch dungeons. You'd expect half of them in the first season, half of them in the second season. And if Dragonflight was anything to go by, they took, and this is, Dragonflight was the first expansion where we used this kind of
What is this
out
evil
the dungeon
bubble?
system, which is a
Necrotic
huge
bubble.
win.
Okay.
Love it. Always great having different loot tables and dungeons to play every season. Huge improvement on what we had in BFA and Shadowlands for sure. And but if Dragonflight is anything to go by, yeah, they had half of the launch dungeons in the first season, half of the launch dungeons in the second season, and then they had the mega dungeon that came out in season 2, split into 2. As the only Dragonflight dungeons in season 3, and then they
repairs
had
the
the original
Coibus
8
killer
launch dungeons
mech.
in season 4 again.
So this
there
group
was
up
no
here at the top of the
season
hill was the one that
where
kept fucking my shit up.
There were duplicate dungeons from the season before. There's gonna be
Yeah, of course
with
there
this,
will be.
right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
so if we're like we're looking at the these are the US
I
results.
can't access it
Oh,
'cause
okay.
it
I'll bring up
it
the
knows I'm in EU.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because it won't. It'll just swap.
Yeah,
off.
I'm just
Where,
defining this
Bran?
myself.
What the fuck?
So
Bran, where are you going?
So Cinderbrew is like Priory's doing really well. In
Oh
this
my
season.
God.
That would be Priory
He's doing
to
it
appear
a
this
fucking
season
again.
and next season. And then if there was another season after that, I mean, and they had all the dungeons back together again, as you'd expect for a final season, then that would be 3 seasons in a row with Priory.
That's a lot.
And I like Priory a lot, but that wouldn't be great. It's already not
thanks, Bran.
ideal
You
that
suck.
You're gonna
And
get
I
duplicates.
hate you.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that this means that we're not gonna have a season 4. We're not gonna have a fated season.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
that's what I would imagine.
Okay.
There are ways it could happen. Because again, they're not going to use the dungeons that no one voted for to fill season 4.
No.
That'd be a bit rubbish. They wouldn't be like, "Hey, tell us which dungeons you really like, and we'll put them in next season." And then they're like, "And all the ones you hated, we're putting them in the season after."
Yeah.
It's like, no, absolutely not.
There's a good season and there's a bad season.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not going to do that. So
I hate Bran's tank
think that would be the
navigation.
case. Another thing is,
So bad.
we don't know how many of these dungeons are going to make it into the next season, into season 3, because they don't say. All we know is that there is going to be more than one, because they use a plural. Now, the assumption is that there are going to be 4. Because that would be what you would expect. And then
Venting
they'd fill up
swimming.
the other
Oh,
4
that's how
with-
they explain it.
Seat of the Triumvirate, definitely.
Yeah,
I
of
would
course,
I would
right?
put my house, this house, on them having Seat of the Triumvirate in the rotation.
But you're
next season.
probably right. Yeah.
With all its void,
All right.
Alaria, and
Having this rare here actually just auto-killed a lot of the enemies here, which made things a lot
Maybe he doesn't
easier.
have a different voice actor,
But it sounds different.
His
Oh.
voice actor is giving a very different performance.
Oh.
So
Is
like
he less sexy? Because he's super sexy.
I would say he's more sexy. He's
Really?
like
They
more
have toned him down?
stereotypically old WoW dude sexy now.
Okay,
in like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
cinematics. He's like, I am from a planet called Koresh.
Yeah.
Whereas I want to play it for you. I don't have the means to play it right now for
Okay.
the podcast.
Save it for me
But
later.
he's got a much
Fran, what are you
more
doing?
kind of- he's like, Alaria, I wish to teach you about the void. Please come with me through this void portal. And he's got like a much more kind of like affected voice. It's kind of softer. It's a bit weirder.
Okay,
It's a
yeah.
bit
Yeah,
like
okay, I see.
yeah.
see.
He's kind of like it's like
I wish
and
it was like this the
surprised
last time I was
when
trying to go
Triumvirate
through
gets
here.
some footage or
Jesus.
something, and I noticed the voice. I said, wow, his voice is like so much cooler here than it is in the cinematics. I actually much prefer it in Seat of the Triumvirate. So they might not want people to notice that, and they might not put the dungeon in as a result. But I think they definitely will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
we're thinking maybe 4 of these dungeons, but it could be 2, it could be more. So
3 and
Do I
then a
have
new
all
dungeon?
of the?
yeah, I mean, look, now I can see Dawnbreaker at number 4. Now I'm hoping it's going to be 4. Right? So like otherwise,
Icon Abyss. All right, I'm
but I
missing
think-
one, so I'm gonna
like,
have to go back
2
through
would be
here and
lovely.
check for the.
So it's just like you're really saying it's like the 2 two best ones that everyone loves, right?
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't choose those particular two that are at the top of the poll right now.
There's just one here, but it's a secret treasure that's probably going to try to kill me.
Well, there's not going to be. So the other thing it says is there's probably not going to be a mega dungeon, because if there was a mega dungeon, you'd expect them to put that in the Mythic Plus season. But that could still happen, because the mega dungeon could still take up a couple of slots, and you could still have like repeats and stuff, and just less legacy dungeons. It's unlikely that they would have a mega dungeon release next patch and be in the Mythic Plus rotation next patch. With mega dungeons, they usually appear in the Mythic Plus rotation like the month after, or the season after.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't mind having a cheeky little against the odds bet that there's going to be another single dungeon next season.
A new one?
Yeah. A new single dungeon, like Floodgate.
Yeah, could be nice.
And Floodgate,
So next season might be the last season for Delves. I wonder what the mount's going to be.
Like expansion making schedule out, and you've got a gap where you make a mega dungeon. And you're like,
let me hit my little shield here, because this thing usually pops out and tries to kill me.
You've still got the resources to make another single dungeon on top of that.
All right, cool.
That's
Idiot.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
And those have the advantage where Blizz obviously feel okay with putting those straight into a Mythic Plus rotation as well. So like they can be in the Mythic Plus rotation in the season in
where
which
the
they first
fuck
appear.
are you going?
So like that's what happened with Floodgate. It's a great dungeon. Maybe there is a sneaky.
What are you
ethereal,
doing?
11.2 dungeon
God,
on
you
the cards
suck.
as well. Yeah, maybe.
Cool.
I wouldn't mind having a.
Oh, it's already on the roadmap apparently. A new dungeon.
Wait, really?
A normal new dungeon.
Oh my gosh! Well, maybe I've just taken that in subliminally.
Yeah,
then.
you're like, but I think it'd be a great idea if they did this thing that no one else has thought of or mentioned.
Well, there we are then. That answers one of our questions then. Definitely.
Okay, there we go.
So there we are. I was right.
Hey.
I was not paying enough attention to the roadmap, but it's good to know that I was right. Like despite that.
What the fuck?
It's good to know that I didn't make a prediction about the roadmap that I hadn't read properly that was wrong.
Yeah.
That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right, get up, get up, get up, get up.
Yeah, new dungeon is right.
One sec, I'll just... where are we here? Yeah, there we go. Here it is.
Here we go.
So, oh yeah, there we are. 11.2.
New dungeon.
New dungeon.
Gonna...
Okay, I made the same mistake.
I'm just glad I didn't predict something and get it wrong. I'm glad that my prediction is like.
Yeah, I'm really glad you weren't like, there will absolutely not be a new dungeon.
Dude, my predictions always get proven right, but they don't usually get proven right this quickly. That's what I'll say on that one. Yeah, so there we go. Well, there we are. Yeah, so one of those slots will certainly be taken up by that new dungeon. So there we go. Fantastic news. So yeah, so how many of those? Well, it looks like maybe maximum 3 of those then.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be 3 then.
Yeah, maybe. Looks like it. But would you agree
All
that
3 of
there's
these.
probably not going to be a season 4?
Fix
that?
the robot.
What do you guys think in the chat?
Yeah.
Do you think this means there won't be a season 4? I think it means there won't be a season 4. I think it means there won't be a fated season. And certainly not like an 11.3 patch.
Watch you pilot the mech from a safe distance, maybe behind a rock or two.
No, anyway.
Okay.
Well,
I think most of us would expect the Legion remix, which looks like it's coming in the winter, to be the gap filler in between
Phobos Horde
11.2
defeated. Where's the Horde? Oh, there's the Horde.
Midnight, which will come early in the next year.
And who needs gaps when you're going to have player housing?
Well, exactly.
Oh,
Save those
like,
tendings.
who
Save
needs
that
filler?
gold. Save those WoW tokens for all the cool stuff you're gonna be able to buy for your house, right? Yeah. Remix will replace it. Yeah, I would honestly.
Yeah.
It's nice having both. Don't get me wrong.
You little shits.
I said this before. The Fated season felt great in Shadowlands because it felt like more than Shadowlands deserved, but it didn't feel so good in Dragonflight because it felt like less than Dragonflight deserved. Does that make sense?
There we go.
Like, I feel like, yeah, it helped salvage Shadowlands, but
my robot.
Dragonflight just deserved a bit better, frankly. So, maybe there'll be a Mythic Plus season connected to Legion remix.
Ran, why are you almost dying?
I don't know how they're going to work that, but it could be quite fun. I like that idea. That's kind
Eat
of
a
cool.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Nice. Good thinking. I like that.
All right.
No.
So Tally, how do you like
Gonna
this
make me
idea?
heal you.
There's a new add-on out. and it takes all of your Warcraft logs info and dumps it on everyone around you against their will. How do you feel about that, Tally?
I think they should count themselves very lucky to see my amazing World of Warcraft info all over their screen. I think I should charge for that, right?
Let's get into
exactly,
the
because you're going to
nitty-gritty
need to be able to choose people to be in your dungeon and raid groups next season.
Oh,
exactly.
Right.
Is this how we're going to do it? Can you tell us more about this, Evie?
So, Warcraft logs have come out with a completely uncontroversial in-game tooltip add-on, which, when you hover over someone, shows parses and progression. Now, before people blow their tops, there are a few.
We're gonna grab this.
There are a few
Don't blow your
caveats
tops,
here.
guys! Don't blow your tops!
I'm gonna have to go back through this and find that missing treasure chest that I made for this, because I want that achievement to get that title.
My initial reaction when I saw this, I went, absolutely not. But a couple things worth bearing in mind here.
Well, that only refilled my health.
So they've come out with this add-on, kind of as like a
Take a sip, thank you very much.
Feature, because loads of people have already tried kind of scraping the API from Warcraft logs.
Stop!
They make
And a stretch? All right, good idea.
Superhero Stretch Armstrong.
So they're like,
Yes, Stretch Armstrong. Now
stretching
stretching farther than ever before.
from us,
Kind of
so
you.
it'll like stay updated.
How you doing?
Fair enough. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the add-ons like this have existed before. In Season of Discovery, they were using it, and it was Warcraft logs themselves that shut those add-ons down. I've seen people saying that Blizz had banned those add-ons when they'd appeared before. That wasn't the case. That was very specifically Warcraft logs kind of blocking those add-ons themselves.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of doing it themselves.
They're doing it themselves to avoid having that problem. Which makes sense.
All right, hope you're well.
So yeah,
Pretty good.
And again, you'll have to download the add-on to see this. You know, if you don't want to deal with that, you don't have to.
A quick
Biggest concerns
explain if some people
being
are just asking in chat here what
groceries
even a pass
and
is.
rents.
So for those
That's
of
all my
you who
biggest concerns.
raid or do any group content at all, really, you can keep logs of everything that happens in those. And there are sites like Warcraft logs you can upload those logs to, and they will be able to then rank performances and damage that people are doing and things like that. So it allows you to see which, for example, Affliction Warlock is doing the most damage in a certain boss fight of all the Affliction Warlocks. That person is the #1 Affliction Warlock in this particular fight.
Now, do parses rank you based on your eye level, or is it against every single
Overall,
player?
no, but you can look at them on item level as well.
Okay.
So, so your pass is what
All right, I got a
percentage
balloon
of the
button.
player base
A bubble button, I should say.
in regards to that performance. So if you're doing like a DPS, if you're looking at like the top warlocks, a pass of 99% would mean that you are in like the top percentile.
Why is
of
Bran
all
like
Warlock
taking
players
no
for
damage? Is it because the boss can't hit
in
him?
that fight? So like the higher the number to 100, the better. If you are 100, you are literally the world's first
pretty funny.
like warlock in that situation.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And you get like a really nice pink number. It's really good. So like just to show you, I've
Yeah, he
pulled up,
can't hit him.
My
He's
own
bugging out,
passes
but
from
like
Heroic. And
to
I
my
said,
advantage.
I've got no
That's
more
funny.
than 3 kills on any of these bosses. We've blown,
He's-
and that's
he's-
because we've been doing
uh-oh.
it for 3 weeks. So we've
Coming at
blown
me?
through all of these.
Oh no, Bran just had to
These are my own
reset because
passes
the game
from,
realized finally.
the current raid. They're not very good, to be honest, because like I say, I don't know what I'm doing. I know these
Yeah,
fucks around.
sure.
And they're too easy for discs to really be useful. So you can see Vexy and the Gear Grinders, and I've got this set to Heroic right now for my Heroic progress. My best pass is 81st percentile for healing, and obviously I'm looking at healing here, right?
Why? What's wrong with standing there?
That's quite good. I get a nice little purple number for that, and you can see I am rank 4555. I have the 4,555th best performance
Nice.
for disc priest in that fight on Heroic.
Wow.
Healing wise,
okay.
people saying healer passes are useless. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get onto that in a little bit later. I'm just using this
All
as
right,
an example.
we're working on this. We got to do a couple more, I think, to get this up to
so
be
there
also
we go. It's
649.
basically just a percentile of where you
fine.
are.
I need to
your
also
best
go back and
performance in
find that
certain
one
fights.
treasure chest
You know,
that I missed.
I can only speak for myself. Let's bring up.
Also, I don't have breath to
last
worry about
raid.
anymore. Nice.
Narubar Palace. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mythic.
All right.
Here we go. So
Oh.
there comes,
Pack,
as you can see, my
Grathon,
passes
Abyss.
here quite a lot better.
Yeah.
Olgrax the Devourer, 99% pass.
Well done. Even
I get the
healing
pink
parses don't
letter there,
matter.
fam. Because, you know, there comes a time where, for me at least, once you're on farm,
Image map
and
of all
once
sturdy
you're
chests.
doing these fights every week, kind of
All right,
passes
so
the only
we
thing left to
are
really go for.
here, so
And
there was
like
one
logs
here,
the only thing
one
left to
here,
go for. And so that
one
does
here,
become, like
and
for
one
many people
back
I
up
know,
there.
and
We
even
got
for
that
me, where
one.
healing pass is completely useless. Like it does become a thing that you kind of, it becomes your main
Grab our
motivation.
treasure.
Apart from just being
Or
the
are we
abundance
doing
and
anything
stuff.
else?
You've
Just in
defeated
case
these
we
bosses
die, I
100
don't know
times.
if
Look, I got.
it'll
I say
cause
that,
me
I've
to
only got
lose
6
some of my
kills
loot
on
here.
Olgax and the heroic, but that just is showing how much easier these raids are becoming, right?
Yeah.
Like yeah, so it is something to aim for. It is like a personal little challenge you can set yourself, and they're basically kind of useless, especially healing passes, because you know, like so for example, if your team is doing everything they should do, there shouldn't be so much healing to do. Like the more healing there is to do, the worse your team is, right? Because they're not using mitigation.
Yeah.
They're not like the best thing you can possibly do.
Where,
As a
I can't
healer
open this
is to be
one.
in a
Stop
group
teasing
of
me.
terrible players.
Yeah.
So there's loads of healing to do.
Or just like stand in fire.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just keep
and
the healing
know
going.
when
right?
when they're going to be bad and when you can heal them. So it's not like it's not a great reflection of knowing like what a good healer is. And you know, likewise, DPS passes are much
Got my
more
disguise on.
nuanced than like.
I do kinda wanna see what those
simple
disguises
number
look
on a
like.
screen. All of this is
All right,
true.
so one of them's back
However,
here.
I'm willing to bet that the best healers also have the best passes overall. And I'm willing to bet that the best DPSers do have the best passes overall. So there is more nuance to it.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
But I
going
wouldn't
on
mind
here.
betting that like your world first raids and stuff have among the best passes, right? So we say
Absolutely.
it's useless.
Here? Yeah,
but
I think
it is
I got
also
this
kind
one.
of an indication as well.
Sure. And I think, you know, and people do use it as a way of choosing people to join their groups, right?
Yeah.
So what people would do now, right, if you're trying to join a key, they will check you manually on Warcraft logs
did I
and see
get it?
how you're doing, check your parses or
Wait a
whatever,
minute.
and then go, maybe yes, maybe no, and then decide based on that. This just brings
Was it under the
just
mech?
takes away that extra step of tabbing out to a browser and checking Warcraft logs, and it has it there instantaneously.
not
Now there is a
get it
couple
'cause
other
it was under
caveats
the
about
mech?
this add-on.
What was over here?
One is that you can opt to not have your
It's
logs
in the
visible,
fish.
right? Like you can literally opt out to have
There's
your
a little crab in the fish prison.
logs
Are you-
just not be seen
Buddy,
on
what did you
Warcraft
do?
logs.
What's
But then,
where
of
your
course,
crab?
if
Oh,
you
he's got a
are
helmet
looking to
and a
recruit a
sorry,
player and you see that
Kelly,
they've wiped their logs, you're gonna
Evitel,
go.
I'm
"Hold on."
sorry. Look at this little man. He's got a shield, he's got a sword, and he's wearing a helmet. It's an alliance shield, so glad you're in jail. You deserve it. But also cool. Anyways, maybe there's a horde one around here. A little battle axe.
Does that mean they're not good?
Mhm.
Either
knights.
they are not happy with their logs, fair, or you know maybe they just are taking a stance and they're like, I actually don't want to share this information. That's fine. You don't know that, but you know you also can't determine how that person is going to react to seeing you with no logs.
Well, you can. You absolutely can predict how. If someone is using this add-on to choose who's going to be in their group,
Yes.
and you don't have that data available,
Well, there
you're
you
not
go.
getting in that group.
Well, then
like,
yeah.
exactly.
That one
So,
I got.
If you know, you are pretty much
I think the
guaranteed
one that I
you're
missed
gonna
has
asked
to be
in groups
over
if someone is using that as a criteria at that
first,
point.
like,
And
little-
that's the real worry about this,
Nope.
because like I
Yes.
like logs. I like looking at my logs. I like trying to learn and do better and improve my logs. I like looking at other
Stop
people's
bragging
logs.
about the size of your
Warcraft
log,
logs,
your
by the
log.
way, just an amazing resource to go on and look at the best classes in the fight that you're doing and,
Sure.
and just see what they are doing.
is
There's
it
even
like-
a replay function where you
Oh.
can watch the thing happen.
Yeah, and
Oh,
just
it's on
getting better
top.
at your own
Using-
rotation,
yeah, and
right?
especially
I've
for
used
something
it.
like Disc, where
Yeah, I
you,
never
like,
saw that one.
It's all about where you
There we
use
go.
your cooldowns and stuff like that, which is another reason why passes are so useless for
I've
Disc.
got to get
because, like,
5 more, and
it's all
then I
preemptive.
got them
so
all.
if your group just F's up and they take their damage at a different time to when they usually do, like, you're not passing, you know, like you're not getting.
I guess if
any
I need to do a
healing
couple
done.
more,
It's
I could
like,
try to
thanks
knock
for
out
that,
a couple of the ones that I haven't done in
like,
here.
Logs are good, and I think logs are useful. I don't think this is to say anything against logs. It's an application, and it's a reductive application, and it is
Because it doesn't matter if I don't have the bountiful key. doing
which
bountiful
is
delves
just
doesn't really
another
matter,
way
right?
that they can be filtered out of being able to take part in group content.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've kind of so they're trying to kind of deal with some of these issues from the add-on side. So first of all, they have like they're not showing normal and LFR difficulty. On the tooltips, those aren't showing up at all.
Like my eyes for a
Heroic and
second.
Mythic only come in after you've defeated 20 heroic or 5 mythic raid bosses, respectively. So if you if you don't really do that content, then they won't see it. Likewise, if you start doing mythic, they hide your heroic information.
It's weird. I like
So they're
rubbed
trying-
my
they're trying to
eye
cater
and I
to,
had
like,
like something
really the
on my
high-end
finger
players, I
from
think,
like
in a
my
lot of these
food, but I was
cases.
like,
Also,
this
you
is
have to be
flat bread and
subscribed.
cheese.
My
eyes burned
That's
from
that's the
getting
real.
cheese
in
Oh
order
my
to
God.
get
Probably.
the boss by boss ranking.
Oh, okay. Well, this isn't happening
Right?
then. Don't
so
worry. It's
yeah,
all good.
so they're like, if you really want to get
I
into the
need
nitty gritty, you really have to you
Underkeep,
gotta pay for it and you have to get into it,
Sinkhole,
right?
Skittering
And so
Breach,
this is catering to like a
Nightfall, and
very,
Waterworks.
niche group of people who are like doing high level content. Now,
Waterworks is right there, so I
don't
could do
hug
that
keys,
one.
Unless I
Red
just
Pit,
jump
I'm
into one
done.
with like Tally or someone else, and we fill in a group. My
Nightfall is
question
here.
to you, Tally, is
Wait, I just did
how do you
Nightfall. I
feel
didn't
about
check for the
this, and how do you
treasure?
think this is going to
Shit.
affect kind of like, doing raids,
Dummy.
but also like high keys and
Dummy
stuff.
me.
Are people going to look
Let's
at
go do
my
Waterworks.
my raid parses and then turn me down for keys?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, there are already so many ways to let's like steelman this. There are so many ways to gatekeep your pug group right now. Okay, so if you're doing raids,
I wish I
it's
could
like
see how many more I needed for this.
Always.
Like,
yeah.
And
'Cause it says 3 out of 3
but I mean,
unlocked, but I want to know
obviously
about how many more do I need to do
definitely
here. It
affect
just
how
says
people
complete
choose people to be in their
more.
raid groups, 1,000,000%. Yeah. And it's gonna like.
I wish I
like
knew how many
it is
more I
now,
needed
it's
to
gonna make
get
getting
this
into
up.
those
Because all I
groups
know
before
is
you
it's
don't
somewhere
have the kills
between
very,
five.
very
I've
difficult,
done
even
somewhere between
more
5
so
and
than it is
7.
now. And that's what people
I could have to do
care
one
about.
more, I
That's
could have
what
to do
people are
3
afraid about.
more.
And I'm very, very sympathetic to that. I completely understand. It's not nice. And I think people are saying that Mythic Plus classes are useless. Yes, but it's still going to affect people. It's still going to affect the decisions people make to let people into their groups. Will it be more important to Mythic Plus groups than overall rating and item level score and the class you're playing? Probably not.
No.
I think it will, like, on that list of things that people would choose people for Mythic Plus.
Oh, Drew, have you been playing WoW at all? I know you wanted to play with Queenie. I think it was you and Volvux, right? You were gonna do WoWs with Queenie. Have you been doing that? Have you been enjoying it? Do you need money? No, you never started. Oh, okay. I was like, I could help you guys out, but then I realized, wait, I don't think I can, because I can't trade you gold, because you'd have a starter account. I'd have to get the gold piles that are only available on Pirate Week and throw them down on the ground in front of you, like throwing breadcrumbs out for pigeons.
+4 is going to come in, 5th out of those.
Well, if you do get started and you ever do
it's another thing
sub,
that they can use
we'll
to
stick you
kind
in the
of
guild
differentiate
and we'll
between
give you all the help that you
Yeah.
need.
And I think like the reaction to this is justified. Like the negative reaction
Oh,
to it
Jesus,
is
dogs.
justified.
Dog me is dropping his dog toy
I
and making noise.
completely sympathize and understand everything that people find
Right,
distasteful about
Waterworks.
this, and agree with everything that people find distasteful about it. To be very, very clear, I don't actually think it's going to have much of an impact beyond
why is this
the
593.
I guess my thinking with this
Because
is
I already did
agree
it
with
once
you.
today?
And then also like if
Or this week?
your thing is like gatekeeping, like if you are like a super elitist player, like the things you are already
Weird.
doing these things, right? Like I think
guess I'll just
giving
do
a
it,
tooltip,
then.
like adding a tooltip and making it instantly accessible versus looking to your other monitor and looking at another tab, like. I think a lot of people have been saying, looking at this, and they're like, "Oh, this is just going to make it so much easier for people to
do what they're doing already.
to do
right?
what they're doing already." And it's like, yeah, but they are doing this already, and so
Yeah,
I
we did
wouldn't
this
describe it as,
yesterday.
like, enabling it. So I agree with you in the sense that like I think it's just going to like it's not going to change the way that people operate on a certain level. But I also, at the same time, I
wanna
don't
do
think
this
it's going to
one
have a
again.
huge impact on kind of like the slightly lower keys.
No, but I can tell you now that even if the only concern that people really truly have, and I think this is the only thing it will properly impact, is heroic raid pugs. Basically, and
we'll do one more.
I think it will affect them greatly,
Yeah.
and I think it is going to make it much harder. And like, heroic raid pugs are miserable. Like, they are the worst. I hate heroic raid pugs. I am blessed to have a beautiful wife and a beautiful family, but most of all, a beautiful
not allowed
guild,
in?
so I don't have to dick around with heroic raid pugs, okay?
God, yeah.
And I can just like, you know,
There we
and,
go.
and I'll always have curve from my raid, so it's like easier for me to get into groups anyway. But you know, it's just like, if that is the only way you can get curve is through heroic
You know
raid
what?
pugs and the conversation about why you should be in a guild and things like that. You
Sure.
know, if you're
do
doing
this.
heroic raid pubs, you know why you should be in a guild. Like, there's a
Yes.
good reason why you're not, probably.
Yes.
And like, it is miserable and it is hellish, and I can absolutely understand why people don't want.
Yeah,
anything to
I
do
want to have at
with
least
it
3 good
at
options.
all.
Yeah.
You know, it is something. I mean, I guess maybe one saving grace is if raid leader pugs. If pug raid leaders are doing this anyway, it's just going to speed up the whole process. So, you know, working on the assumption that every person that applies, they're going and checking their Warcraft logs page anyway. They're still doing that, but in like a fraction of the amount of time.
Dang it.
So groups can now be put together much quicker. You can get on it much quicker. And actually, you know, assuming that you wouldn't have gotten to that group because they'd have checked you anyway, like that whole process.
Actually, wait, it says also I got like a
streamlined and
nemesis
quicker. It's gonna be
summoning
better for
item.
everyone.
What
People
does
who
that
get into
do?
the groups and who don't get into the groups.
Absolutely, and I totally get if you have a really high level key.
Bring the
and
nemesis
you just
to its
really want to
location.
do it right. You want to time it.
Only
you're gonna
available
check
after
who's
the
in your
restoration
group.
zone. I'm gonna try this out.
There's a
Let's
chance
see what these
that,
do.
you know, if you're looking at someone who's been boosted, like their parses are gonna suck, right? They'll have
Don't
completed.
say that because my passes suck.
No. But you know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be pretty clear to see if, like, you've had someone who's just boosted and who isn't going to, you know, pull their weight. You know, that's a benefit, I think.
Oh, yeah,
right?
totally.
And I totally understand, like, if it, you know, if yeah, you
Near,
want to protect your key and you just want to do it right. So yeah, but what's been really interesting about all of the discussion around this for me is like really seeing people getting into the nitty gritty of, like, you know, parses, like how valuable are they, right? Like if I'm getting a 99, right, and if I'm pink, does that mean that I've like sacrificed mechanics along the way,
I mean, probably.
just to do my rotation like absolutely perfectly? Yeah, probably. So, you know, being mindful of all these things. But like you say,
Where's
if
your-
you
where's
are
the
high
cheese,
end player,
Bran?
like you've probably got great parses.
Take out
like,
the
that's all real.
cheese.
Like it will align. So
No, you're just gonna
and
feed
yes, of course,
yourself
people do
selfishly
kind of game the system,
while I
right?
sit
Like,
here
and, you know,
hungry.
people team up and give one person PI, or you know they make sure that like one person doesn't have to touch mechanics at all just to get a really shiny parse. Like that happens too. But I you know, all in all, you know, it will have its utility, right?
Yeah. I'm just
but
coming over here
what's
for
been
treasure. I'll be
interesting
fine.
is seeing these discussions
Holding my breath.
come out, and also I'm
Holding my breath.
yeah, the immediate reaction to this existing is like, wow, this sucks. This game is gonna be more toxic. It's gonna be worse as a result. You know, terrible. Big L is. And I agree with some of that, but at the same time, I do think it's also like a big reaction to something like this.
They're not wrong.
No.
That, below like the very top level. I think this would be a very useful play for people at the top level of play. Like a very useful add-on for people at the top level.
I'm
of play.
agreeing. I agree that the tool where it reminds me of people that would. So this is a thing that isn't so bad anymore. But back in the day when I was doing more like progression pushing content in Wrath of the Lich King, and briefly in Cataclysm, and also starting up doing progression rate in Burning Crusade, there was always people that would spam the DPS chart add-on that would just flood the entire chat log and be like, you guys, you're not doing enough damage, and it's like, the boss is dead. What do you shut up? Like, we won. Like, you don't need to spam the DPS log afterwards just to show that your rogue did more damage than like the Beastmaster Hunter or whatever.
Because it's going to save them time on stuff that they do anyway, and the kind of checks they make on people anyway. And I think the worry is that not at that level. The worry is at levels below that, because the Warcraft community has a habit, an understandable habit, of looking at what top players do and feeling that they need to replicate it in terms of gatekeeping.
Absolutely.
So it's like
Yes.
they see, they hear that Affliction Warlock is trash. Wow, I'm really standing Affliction Warlock today. But they hear that Affliction Warlock is trash, so they refuse to take any Affliction Warlock that applies to their group.
Yeah, I remember there was briefly a period where people that I knew were getting kicked from like looking for raid groups because they were playing the wrong rogue spec. Like, I don't care if that's the spec you like, if you're not playing this one, you're not the top DPS, and they would kick them. What the fuck?
Even though that player has like cutting edge, is like, it has a 3k rating, and they're doing like a +8 or whatever, and they're like, no.
I have not run into that
And
anymore,
of course, that always happens.
but that was
Of
when I
course,
was in
people
that
look at the
space.
metas
I did
and
encounter
they
that.
don't understand the metas, but they just blindly stick to it. And yeah, that's going to happen, and people are afraid of what is going to happen, how it's going to impact lower levels of play, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think it,
I agree. Yeah, one of the comments that came through was like, "Oh, this is going to ruin the game, just like Raider IO and Mythic Plus scores have." And I was like, "Okay, I don't think those things have ruined the game. They've definitely put a different element into it. Like,
Mythic Plus rating's brilliant.
I think it is great.
So
you know,
much fun, and something to aim for and to raise
Yes.
and to play. Yeah.
I agree with that. I also sympathize with people who are like, I have a low number and that makes me look like shit. Even if I don't really do that content, like I've tried it a little bit, and but now I have this number attached to me that everyone sees.
Well, honestly, that's
and then
the
only
worst.
the only way to make it better is to do more of this, which I don't really like in the first place, but I must make number go up. So I completely get that anxiety
get that.
because I see it too. So
It's,
I
it's kind of the reason I don't like going into Mythic, is because if I don't go into Mythic Raid, then that whole thing is never even open on my kind of Battle.net page, on my Warcraft logs. It's not even an option.
just
It's
not
like
even there.
grayed out. It
Yeah.
doesn't even register.
Yeah.
And so all my things and all my bars are nice and complete.
Yeah.
And I go on, and
Yeah.
it's like my heroic bar. It's all green. I've completed that raid. 8 out of 8, whatever, mate. Nice gate. And then I do one fucking mythic boss, and I kill one fucking mythic boss,
Yeah.
and suddenly I've got a whole new bar,
And it's
and
like-
it's only filled up by one.
Yeah.
And like my head is like, what the hell?
course, and
No,
the-
absolutely not.
Listen,
what?
we're all gamers,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
we want the number to be good. We want
had
it to
that bar filled up.
We want the bar to go up. Like we want the, you know what I mean? So I completely get it, and like it's yeah, it is tricky. So you know, and but also seeing these kind of discussions is like, okay, I value good parses, but I also value people who like stick to it, right? People who will stay through the whole key with me. People who will actually listen and do mechanics, right? There isn't really actually a way of quantifying
I would like to
that.
find
There's
a
no way
group of people
putting
that
into
feel like
numbers and making it
trying. If I could find a group of people that are like somewhat interested in pushing content, not to the point of like, we're gonna do this dedicated for every night sort of thing. Maybe like maybe like a Saturday group that wants to try to do the hard mechanic of a dungeon. That could be fun. I don't know if Queenie or Rue would want to stick through all of that. I think Rue would like to try, but I know Rue gets a little frustrated with like mechanics that get to be too hard for her. So I don't want to like push her into a spot that would make her not have fun. But and I know Queenie like has a schedule that doesn't really lend herself to that sort of thing. So I would want to find people that we're into that kind of stuff from the start.
Instantly accessible, but it's cool that it's getting people like discussing with each other what is actually useful in these groups. Now, does that like come through when you're just, you know, pugging? Like, no.
Also, like pugging, when you're talking about pugging, it is a massive time sink. Okay, it takes longer to put a pug group together than just logging on with your friends. Like, there's so many unknowns with a pug group. I understand people wanting to take every precaution and use every scrap of information or tool
Well, not
they
over
have
there.
to make sure the person
Over here.
that's coming with them knows what they're doing and won't kind of not waste their time. Well, yeah, actually waste their time. Like, not to be you're allowed to not be good at the game, but I can understand why people put groups together and they're doing their weekly Mythic Plus or whatever. Just want to get it done and want to have a nice time and don't want any toxicity that comes with people failing and stuff. Like, with the best will in the world, it does.
Spitfire
And I can
fuse
understand people using
tender.
the tools at their disposal to
Fill up my
create a
Delve
smooth
tears,
gaming
idiot.
experience
I don't
as
care about the
possible.
rest of your
And
mechanics.
accounting for all the unknowns. Because, like, you know, within a group of people that
Speaking of
know,
mechanics,
yeah,
God damn
passes
it.
don't matter. Of course they don't. I do think there is a correlation probably between the best players in the world having
Speaking
good
of
passes and
surprises.
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, if the boss died,
Uh-oh.
you did fine.
Yeah.
Like, you did your job. Like, if
Well
the boss dies, congratulations, you win.
Yeah.
That's it. And it doesn't matter. Like, it's okay. And yeah, but
And it is interesting looking at, you know, this conversation happening and then thinking about like new players and more casual players, even just encountering these discussions, encountering these conversations and being like, oh God, like
I'm just
is this-
ignoring
is this
Underpin.
game
He's
for
just
me?
kind of
Is
like a
this
minor
right?
annoyance while I'm trying to kill this
I would love
kobold.
to, you know, we were speaking of like tools that we have at our disposal. Really good tool for people who are less into this sort of thing.
What
and
the
who are a
hell?
little bit more relaxed
Why did all
about their
these bombs
gameplay,
just
but who
appear and
still
immediately
want to do
detonate?
well.
That's some bullshit.
I've talked about it before, but the no pressure EU Discord
Oh, I got a
group
resonance.
is
I
awesome.
get a key.
They are so solid, like really good.
Bran,
You get
what
in
are you
there
doing?
and
Why
can
are you
go
not
in
pulling
for dungeon groups?
the
You
threat?
can go in for raids.
Bran, why are you not pulling the
Like,
threat?
The Discord itself
Bran, why are you not
is
pulling
really
the threat?
accessible and really good, and just kind of
Bran,
guides
pull
you
the
to what
threat.
you need to know, even
Bran,
if you've never touched
Bran,
a
pull the
key
threat.
in your life. It's there, and it's a really great way to like set up groups with like people who are cool with
Bran,
you learning along
what's
the way.
wrong with you? You're not tanking.
It's just nice.
Are you
like,
not
looking
even
at the
doing
community and being
damage?
Like, there are going to be people who are going to be super hardcore about this stuff. There are people who are unfortunately going to gatekeep.
Well, I got a
which is
radiant
not cool,
echo at least.
But there are also loads of people who organize
can't
and
get more,
self-organize to like, you know, make
coffer
the game better
keys.
and to make it more
Although there's nothing to use them
accessible.
on today because I've done them all.
It's just,
like an
I think,
idiot.
a symptom of how the game is, and it's built in of MMOs that, to some degree, the community is always going to have to do this for itself.
Yeah.
Right? Like Warcraft.
Did I eat the pizza
WoW
that makes
can
me slow? Yes.
do as much as it can, but then there's a point where like people kind of need to do it themselves, and it is cool to see groups like No Pressure.
that's a really
doing
good
that.
point. And I think like something that's always worth remembering because, you know, quite naturally, and you can see the discussion that this has started in our chat, and like the
Yeah.
depth of the discussion and
Yeah.
the passion of the discussion that's starting.
Seriously.
And you know, generally, you're going to notice this pattern. People that don't feel like they're going to be affected by it aren't bothered by it and think it's going to be okay and a useful tool, and for them it will be. Reasonable opinion, in my opinion. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's not really going to affect me. People who know full well that it is going to affect them, and it is going to affect people.
Yeah,
like
of
this
course.
definitely is going to affect people
Yeah.
under a certain level of play rather than above a certain level of play. And
are you?
you know, they are justifiably worried about how much harder it's going to make their lives, and that's completely understandable as well. I'm on your side for that.
I wish I could have had
the
some
great thing about
control
WoW,
over where we were
size
fighting
of
that
this
guy a
community
little
and the
bit. 'Cause that
scope
was
of
that
the
was
game
a bad
is
spot. That was a
you are
narrow
never
hallway
stuck.
with a
Like,
flamethrower
you've
on one
always got
end.
options. If the thing you're doing
That was a
isn't
bad
working,
spot.
you can change it up. So
Probably
if
should have
you
run away.
Pug in a certain way, and suddenly this add-on comes along, and it's stopping you getting into groups and making your life harder, and it's gatekeeping you even getting into raid pugs and things like that. You have options. You have stuff like that.
And then I think after
You have
this,
stuff like guilds, and
I
like,
might
you
take
can
a
just
break
change
to
up how
go
you're playing
run
the
through
game,
one of the
how
old
you approach
raids
the
that I
game,
want to
and,
get
like, a wall
a
doesn't
mount off
have
of,
to be
which
a
is
wall.
the
you can just adapt and
Zuldazar
find ways to
raid.
play that do
Want to get
work
that
for you.
mount off of
And that
killing
option is always
Gallywix.
there. It's
Or
what
not
I
killing
have
Gallywix,
done.
killing
Like
Mechatort.
in the past, I
Battle of Zul. Notable loot, Gmod. I want. Because it's funny that you can't get his mount though. You can't get. You can get so. Fighting Mechatork. Oh, you don't even see his mech? Oh. He's got a cool ass mech, but you can't get it. You can get the one that Gallywix is using, but you can't get his mech. Also, his outfit's good and still super unique. Like that. I want this. I want to get this. I don't even think it can fly. I feel like it should be able to fly. Can it fly? Oh, it is a flying mount. I want this. It's so gaudy. Want it.
You know, wanted to get into raiding, and it wasn't working for me with me playing on an NA server and like the hours and stuff. So I switched to an EU server, and now I'm so glad.
Like, he's right here.
Life, honestly,
there's like a shitty version of his paint job right here.
The world that opened up for me, and the amount of game I was able to play that I wasn't even able to access before, and the friends I made, and like it's been just a joyous thing to do. And I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't got stuck. I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't hit a wall and was like, okay, well, my approach isn't working here. I can't do the things I want to do. I can't get into the content I want to get into.
Right? Yeah.
And I swapped it up, and I found my groove, and I found my what worked for me at my level and what I wanted to do, and I've never looked back, and it's been brilliant. So I mean, I would always recommend.
Enjoy your
I agree,
chicken.
But it still feels bad when you hit that wall, right?
Oh,
or when you hit that, or when you are judged, or when
shoving the whole drumstick right in your beard,
or like you do a key and you flub something, whatever, and everyone's like, oh, it's cool, but one person is like, wow, you're the worst player I've ever met in my life, and it's like, damn, I know
it hurts because you know they're right. That's the thing.
Exactly.
It's like,
but you know, so it's you know, unfortunately, I think it's all that kind of. It's always going to be there, but yeah, like you say.
I mean, I would even settle for this uglier, sort of like rusted version.
There are loads of things that you can do. So yeah, so I just like dropping no pressure in, because it really is like such an antidote to I think a lot of the anxiety that people are feeling around this. Yeah, and for like higher level players, I also feel for you guys. It sucks. Like you're gonna like, you know, there's gonna be. Yeah.
No, I think it's going to make high level players have an easier time. I honestly do, this add-on. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so, it is going to make life easier for high. That's why this is even happening. Okay, like this add-on doesn't exist because a bunch of like +8 ahead of the curve people wanted it. This add-on exists because a bunch of 3K cutting edge people wanted it, right?
Sure.
And
sure.
like that's why it's here. And it is going to make life easier
for
them. It's going to make life easier for pugs at a certain level. If you are below that level,
well, I'm not giving you a moment in the poison brand.
That's just like the facts, right? And the thing is, it will cause toxicity at a certain level, but at another level, it is also going to remove a lot of toxicity. Like at a higher level, anything that kind of filters the group and makes it more likely that key is going to succeed is going to reduce toxicity. It's as simple as that. So it will increase toxicity at a lower level than that, but it will also decrease it at a higher level, which is what it's designed for. The problem is people will use the tool at a level that it's not designed
exactly
for.
Because it always like you say, people are looking up to like the top like 5% of players.
Back up.
And to because you need a role model,
right?
And but then they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna apply this now, right? You know,
it would be like putting like a racing steering wheel in their like Ford Prius or something, right?
But it's like
it would be like, you know, you're using the wrong tool for the job. Because you've seen people like
zap,
it, right?
Or it's like, you know, even I remember like really early.
You're welcome. I
that,
saved your life again, Brand.
Like you have to say it. Yeah. You have to say link curve, otherwise.
Yeah. Well, and I'm agreeing with the people in chat saying it will hurt people who are pugging and stuff. I completely agree with you, and that's why. I mean, you know, it is for them. It's going to be a bad thing. Yeah. And I completely agree. In my heart, like, yes, I understand I agree with every single criticism about this. Definitely. Just to be extra clear on that, I obviously haven't
cheese grab it.
But I completely agree that it's gonna make pugging at an already quite miserable level of pugging, which is like heroic raids, even more miserable. And I don't know what we do about that.
Yeah, I think having a good guild is like absolutely essential. I don't know what I would do without it, but I also totally get that loads of people don't have guilds or don't know how to find a good guild.
But there are loads of communities around the place, like Dungeon Dojo and your guys No Pressure, who you know, without needing to be part of a guild and still being able to play casually dip in and out of those communities, will happily have like learning runs and no pressure runs and runs where you are allowed to fail, and they are specifically looking for people like you who don't have good logs and things like that, because I don't know, they're just nice people and, like, genuinely at the end of the day they enjoy helping people. Like, those communities are there,
and you don't need a guild for that necessarily.
If you can find us on YouTube, you can find these communities, I promise, and they are there and they will help you and they will enjoy helping you.
Sorry, I'm singing over top of Tally.
There is also I also legitimately think that it's gonna make life easier for some people at a higher level of play, and that's what it's for, you know. Like, you know, it will be people misusing the tool rather than the tool itself that will be the problem, I think, which
They're
doesn't
not
make
a
the
treasure
problem
chest over
any
here?
like less
Well, that's
bad,
no?
but yeah, that's what I think.
Fair.
So are your passes good enough to watch this podcast?
I still see some of you here, so I think,
River
Team
Bass
Orange to Pink up in here.
Yeah, it's got to be. Oh, this has always been Team Pink. We're always in the pink up in this podcast. It's fact.
Yeah.
Are we ready? I don't think we've got loads of super chats, but I think we've got some. If you want to,
I think we do.
Let's
go into our super chats today. Thank you so much to Chris. Friendly reminder to post cooking stream recipes, please. You are absolutely right, Chris. That is on my to-do list.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing a little bit of the, for people who are patrons, I've been doing a little bit of a cleanup of the Discord, not in terms of you guys.
Anyone with lower than orange passes, you're gone.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's the thing. We do have loads of people in the Discord who say aren't like patrons anymore, so they're not green anymore. But I don't care. God, like, just enjoy yourself in there. So I've been just kind of tidying up the Discord a little bit, just making it a little bit neater, nicer to navigate, putting like some
Brand, don't get me killed here, Brand.
As and when.
Brand, don't get me killed here.
Getting rid of some like defunct channels and things. But it has reminded me about Patreon, which we need to do a Q&A for next week.
Yes, please.
Patreon Q&A next week. And I'm going to start
everybody?
doing like a monthly, like the state of the Patreon nation. I'm working on the name.
Oh, yay, Patreon Nation.
I'm working on the name. Just to kind of be like what we've been up to this month, what's coming up, what we have to look forward to.
You know what? I'm gonna take this.
On there, Chris, thank you for the reminder.
I deserve it.
Spaghetti bolognese.
Oh, so those of you that joined us on Twitch for our spaghetti bolognese stroke lasagna cook-off, thank you. We had an amazing time. We want to make that like a regular kind of stream goal.
There's two more workers.
The next one that
Are they both in here?
Is my baked pork chops with caramelized onions.
Oh, that okay.
It's a showstopper.
It's a good one.
It's an event meal.
It is
right?
an event meal.
It's really good. So that's kind of stuff. It's a bit messy. It's a bit greasy. It's a bit like
get them thwackers.
It makes your kitchen greasy, but it's great. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And what we will do is get
stuffed
that
barrel.
Also, we have to start dealing with the fact that Twitch are going to delete all our highlights at some point this month as well. So with things like the cooking stream and our Baldur's Gate playthrough and stuff like that, we're going to have to find an alternative of somewhere to put those, because we certainly don't want to lose things like
you're the one that was standing there. You're the one that's about to die, Brand. Don't
hundreds of hours
chastise me.
And we don't want to lose it, and we don't want to lose the chat on it either. So we have to like manually.
I feel like Bran, being our Delve NPC, has set back dwarven relations with other races by decades.
And then manually put the chat on top of it, essentially, and then manually render it and then manually upload it somewhere, and we have to do that for, I believe there's 36 episodes in that playlist. So and each one's like no shorter than like 5 hours. Some of them are like 10 hours.
And we can't lose it. That Baldur's Gate stream is
oh yeah, like a magical time in the channel.
Underpins
and
well
I think
connected
what we'll probably
friends.
do with that one is like literally create a separate
Underpins
YouTube
well.
channel
They're
for
both
it,
here.
so.
Yeah,
Just
we
sort of
will
sitting
two.
somewhere.
a single
Who are you?
YouTube channel which is just that Baldur's
Just
Gate
that
playthrough
Baldur's Gate,
because
yeah.
I legitimately want my kids to see that one day.
Same. And when I just need a bit of like
What are you doing
comfort,
here?
I just
Yeah,
tune
and
in,
I do that all the
just
time.
dip in
I
there.
whack that playlist on sometimes and
It's
just
so
I really enjoy it, and I know other people do as well. So
Yeah.
that's what we'll do. I will, and that will be a personal thing essentially for us, but other people can watch it if they want to as well.
Exactly.
So yay! But it's just going to take a
No,
whole
the
lot of
agent
effort,
got
and
in.
something we're gonna basically
Chose a
have to have
terrible
second PC
representative.
Just on
Does
the
Queenie
side.
talk shit about
Yeah,
Bran
so,
to you guys too?
Can't wait for
Gonna
that.
be
It's
worth
not
it
just me and
there.
Rue.
Sorry, back to the topic. We'll be doing that with the Kaboom stream things and anything else we want to keep as well. So.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Rico. Hey guys, this is your friendly super chat reminder. Thank you. For the super
Thank
chat.
you,
Super
Rico.
chat reminder, Rico. And another from Rico. Sorry, I was late today. Do you think on my 365th day of asking the WoW team to add orc eyebrows, Blizz will at least notice?
What are you?
Rico,
You don't really
day.
talk about WoW.
50-something at the
That's
moment,
fair.
Rico.
We're doing it every
so
day.
every day.
I
Rico
wasn't
goes
sure
on
if
social
Queenie
media
was ever
every
just like
day,
hanging out with you guys in
XXX
DC while
of
doing her
asking
own
Blizzard to
thing,
create eyebrows for
in-
orcs. I think judging
in
by
WoW
the
while playing
Beards
with
for
you.
Trolls movement, which has got absolutely zero traction or acknowledgement from Blizz, I think you might be in it for the long haul, this one, Rico, to be perfectly honest with you. I think don't buy any like eyebrow highlighters for your orcs just yet, is what I'm saying. I think you might have to wait a little bit longer
Yeah.
than 365 days. But it seems like just the kind of thing they look, we got straight backs for orcs, okay? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Get the eyebrows as well.
Yep. Next one is from Mist, who, true to their word,
doesn't talk
did a
about
super
WoW while
chat.
she does,
Easy, love your
ah.
content, Tally. I'm a no longer
That's
Asmund
fair.
bot like I used to be years ago.
Oh, okay,
Hope
this
you
is the guy.
consider an unban.
Okay, I will consider an unban. You've been very nice to me. That was a nice super chat. I
That was a lovely
appreciate
super
it.
chat.
I don't know what that currency is. I don't care. I like it. It looks good. I'm taking it. Yeah, I will unban you. I will unban you, but
Cheers,
you're on probation. But I will unban you. Of course I will. Yeah, fair enough.
100% not Thunders. Thank you, Thunders. Oh, and shout out to Thunders. Thank you for the incredible
Oh my God,
book.
Thunders! It came last night. Sorry,
Dude.
when the kids were in bed, I came downstairs like, "What's this?" It's addressed to T&E, and it was like a banging.
I tried to keep that guy
so
crowd
sick.
controlled, and Brand immediately broke it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bran.
Thunders, or sorry, 100% not Thunders. Good morning, Teeny. Hope you're well, my friends. My question for today is wondering how Evitel's PC upgrade adventure is going. Cheers, fam. Thank you for checking, Thunders.
Yeah, how is it going?
Yeah, it's going okay. So you may have seen a little post I made last week where I announced formally the breakup with my PC, which is it's going. Thank you guys to everyone
Railroaded
who's
me,
like given me
Jesus.
suggestions. Like loads of Discord is absolutely on fire with people suggesting parts for building a PC. There are also a couple of suggestions for pre-builts, which
What's this?
look like okay and
Oh.
have kind of decent reviews.
Might be worth looking into.
Am I lazy?
I like
Yes,
building shit, that's
but
the thing.
Building is cool. I think this time around, can we just not do the water cooling?
Why? What cool?
It's so cool, but it's like
Well, at the very least, can you get like a
frightens me.
pre-built integrated water cooling thing? One
Yeah,
of the
just
ones
wanna
with,
just,
the
like,
rubber
shh,
things.
and then
that
just
go- yeah,
put it
yeah.
in, yeah.
Like,
I
don't you
can
like
do
my
that.
water cooling loop? It's so cool.
I do like it, but it frightens me.
Nothing's ever gone wrong.
I know.
Nothing's even ever gone wrong with that one. I didn't
No, it
build that.
hasn't.
I didn't
Do you
build that one, but
remember?
I did. I actually did build that
It
one.
frightens
Do
me.
you remember I would have to shake it every now and then to get the little pump going?
No, that's when it broke because the one that they built me wasn't good.
Oh, of course.
That's why that water cooling loop is mine.
yeah.
Every water cooling loop I've ever built has been absolutely boss.
Okay.
And they look better as well. So yeah, no, my water cooling loop's amazing. Like
I would be
but
nervous about a
then,
water
like,
cooling, but
it's
I've
your
never had
PC.
my
And
PC
I've got one question
overheat
for you.
anyways. So
You have a choice right now.
maybe
You
I'm
have to
too
choose.
basic.
Uh-oh.
Nice wood paneled like case or like all glass super neon case.
Oh.
There
what
is no
about-
in between. There's no
there-
fence sitting. It has to be one or the other.
I think I'd probably still go for the all glass super neon one because those look
Yeah,
so
I know
cool.
you will.
I know.
I knew the
They're
question
so
I was
good.
asking.
love yeah, they are really good. So yeah, so I'm just on the lookout. I'm kind of, oh my god, loads of people like Rage and Meeks have been.
You
like,
don't use a
"Let me
PC, you have a
grow.
laptop.
Let me-"
So the crazy thing is when people that are predominantly playing games like World of Warcraft want that insane PC setup. Like for Taliesin and Evitel, it makes sense because they also stream, they also edit, they also render. They do a lot of things, so you want to kind of have a workhorse, like similar for myself. Probably not to the same. And they do occasionally want to play more intensive games, like Baldur's Gate 3 is not a soft. It doesn't go easy on your PC. It's got some optimization issues. If you want to install mods, like all that stuff, it takes its toll on your hardware. So I get it, but also like they probably just play WoW 90% of the time still. So a laptop could work for that, honestly. All right, Waxface. Bran, don't go in the river. Not go in the river, you dumb, stupid, dumb idiot.
Tell you what to do, and I'm like, okay, awesome, really, really good. So those people are helping out. Part of me is still just like, dear Scan Computers, will you send me a PC? Thanks.
Didn't we write to Scan Computers?
We did, and I had to look.
2017 or something.
I had to look. Literally, it's 2017 or 2018. We sent them an email like just when our channel had started up and was just going, and we were like, hey, we're looking for some like PC sponsors. Would you be interested? And we got back an email.
The pissiest email you've ever read in your entire life.
Literally be like, as you are probably well aware, we work with X and X, who are very big. We are not looking for any. And I was like, okay. And I had no idea who these people are. Maybe they're still around. And now, of course, they work with Rage and Preach, I think.
Yeah, they do. And in fairness, Preach is I feel like they made the right decision there.
So, yeah, exactly.
Field
They
alert.
did absolutely turn us down years ago. But part of me is like, okay, I maybe, like, I don't know. We're not big enough for like NZXT or whatever, but like maybe I can just piece together. We've gotten peripherals, we've gotten loads of peripherals, we've gotten bits like EVGA, RIP. They who are no longer operating, right? Like they sent us some really good stuff before. Like we've had bits and pieces sent.
No gas.
I might just start
All
compiling,
brakes, no gas.
Things. Sorry, long answer to your question.
Fun answer. I love talking about stuff like
but yeah, it's I'm still kind of just
hey, great salt.
Yeah. I'm like,
great
okay.
vault.
Look, if no one sends me a pre-built PC, it's not the end of the world. I will
49.
start,
All right, cool. We're done with
that.
that.
It's a big dream.
Still gotta
I will
find
get mine
where
back together,
the
and I need a
treasure-
little stand for it. I think
we've still
here.
got like a few nice fans and stuff left.
We have fans, we have bits and pieces, so we can Frankenstein.
The graphics card is obviously the biggest decision to make.
Funny thing, my laptop runs Marvel Rivals better than Queenie's.
Maybe put the upgrade
Because
on the
Queenie's
main-
PC still doesn't have an SSD.
Really? Wait, so we get a better
Queenie
one and we
needs
give it
an
to
SSD.
you, and
Yes.
I get this.
Yes, because I do all the rendering.
Oh.
Yes, my PC does all of the rendering. So yeah, we do that. But this is hey man, don't knock the 4090.
Listen,
okay.
I would
always
love
used to
to have
swear
your
by the
4090.
970. I always used to say the 970 was pound for pound the best graphics
2070?
card. No, the
970. Oh, the 970. Wow.
Pound for
Yeah,
pound,
okay.
the best graphics card ever made, and it probably still is, honestly.
Yeah.
But the 4090, I think, is my favorite graphics card I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like so good.
Waterworks-
None of the
Waterworks
issues that we had with the
Waterworks.
3090. Like just a excellent card. This
We
is
went
a
through, like,
foundation.
3 of
so
those.
Drew, would you
good.
be able to
like,
put-
really good? So
I mean,
the
yes.
1080 Ti is
SSD
pretty
in
good as well,
for-
but like this is a great
And
card.
that's the
They're waiting for
anniversary
someone else to do it for them. I
I'd
think it's
always
supposed to
be
be like
happy
your
to
uncle or
That's
something.
really nice. I wouldn't say no to that.
Which
That's
we
really
bought
lovely.
because our Baldur's Gate 3 stream blew up on the first stream we did of it.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I remember.
And it was like we just started the long haul Baldur's Gate 3 streaming, and my graphics card blew up in the first stream, and it was like I had to it's the only one I could get.
Yeah.
You might be able to.
it was
Don't do
wild.
it if you're not
I remember.
confident.
I
Don't
could-
do
I
it if you're
could-
not confident.
I will
I don't
happily
want to
recommend
put
that
pressure
card,
on you to
so
do
good.
something
But
you're
either
not
way,
comfortable
you're gonna need a
doing.
bigger case, 'cause
It-
no
it-
modern graphics card's going to fail.
Don't. Yeah, don't worry
my
about it.
case is tiny.
Don't do it then.
Even though I love it's like the fractal one, really
Like,
nice. But yeah, it's time for a bigger case. It's time for bigger and better things, PC wise. So I'm working on that. Thanks for checking Thunders. Next one, Charlie Cole. If you could wave a magic wand, what would your ideal launch and patch zones be in Midnight? I hope they go bigger than just Kel'Thalas and Ghostlands.
Man, see, I'm looking forward to
that
that
one,
exact
okay.
thing.
Got that
So
one.
You hope they go bigger than that. Like
Yeah.
I legitimately, one of the reasons I'm looking forward to Midnight.
I think it was
is 'cause I
back
want
in the
Silver
other
Moon
room with a bridge.
to be
Never looked
like
to install
a
installing
neutral
things on a
hub.
PC. I would be
Like,
interested
I
in
want
learning, but not
the
on a
actual
PC.
hub part of
So
Silver Moon to be
installing
neutral, and maybe you can.
Installing things on PCs is pretty straightforward as long as you know that you have the right cables that need the right, power, that are grounded, So it is for a new person, I would say it's totally reasonable and not too difficult to install. Hi, Lars. For a new person that's going by tutorials online, I would say doing hard drives and RAM sticks is pretty easy. And then after that, I would say it's a little bit harder to do a GPU and a power supply, but not much harder. The only reason I say that about a power supply and a GPU is just because you got to really make sure that they're seated correctly, that they're using the right, power cables, because the wrong ones can really cause some issues. And especially with a video card, depending on what new generation you have, they can sometimes be like so beefy that you need to start setting up support brackets so that they don't bend anything out of shape, either on the card itself or something else. It's over here on the opposite end, but I don't know if it's in the water or right by the water. How you doing, Lars? Lars, did you figure out how the vault works yet? Because if not, I could try to explain it to you again. You're good at following instructions. I used to build furniture for grocery store at work. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if that's exactly the same, but, just make sure that you find, like, a good guide. Like, around here. Oh, I can mouse over it. It's literally in the water. I just couldn't see it through all the VFX. Where's it? There it is. Boom! Waterworks discovery. Let's go.
Have like a specific alliance bit, but then Horde are allowed to go wherever they like in Silver Moon and kind of like see it all. But like the alliance bit's still good. Just I feel like going to the. I think there's something so symbolic and cool about rebuilding Silver Moon and upgrading Silver Moon and remaking Silver Moon that I think it's going to have that same magic that going to Dalaran in Legion had.
Pretty
You know how
you.
magical it just felt to be in Dalaran
dude.
for Legion?